You're watching Rivalry Week, presented by Fairfield by Marriott.
Welcome to the SEC on ABC, presented by Tums Gummy Bites. The final Saturday of the regular season kicks off from Nashville with, for all intents and purposes, a play-in game to the college football playoff for number 8 Tennessee as the Vols face Diego Pavia and rival Vanderbilt, which is having one of its best seasons in school history. Here's how Tennessee got here at 9-2, 5-2 in conference play. Early on, the Vols at 4-0 looked like a national title contender before stumbling at Arkansas and tumbling in the polls. Tennessee bounced back, though, with 3 straight come-from-behind wins over Alabama, Florida, and Kentucky before heading to Athens to face rival Georgia. The Volunteers lost that game, and then they were on the outside looking in to make the expanded 12-team playoff, but a win over UTEP last week, plus some help, that lifted the Volunteers back into the field, and they're ranked 8th heading into today. And welcome to the booth at Dusty Dvorak. I'm Dave Pash. Well, if you're wondering whether an expanded 12-team playoff will enhance the regular season, look no further, Dusty, than what we saw last night. Georgia beating Georgia Tech in 8 overtimes. Even if the Bulldogs lost, they'd have another chance to win the SEC championship next week and get the automatic bid. That's different here. Tennessee doesn't have that luxury. They will not be in Atlanta, so this is it. If they win today, they're likely in the college football playoff. A loss, they're in trouble. And they're playing a Vanderbilt team which has a win against Alabama and almost beat Texas.
Major stakes here in Music City. And this Tennessee team leans on their running game. Dylan Sampson, one of the best running backs in all of college football. He's found the end zone 22 times this year, and that defense has been outstanding for Tim Banks. One of the best in all of college football. James Pierce has dominated defensive linemen, as you'll see, and they'll need to be good today because Diego Pavia, quite frankly, has been magical for this Vanderbilt offense. Running the spread option, he leads all quarterbacks in the SEC in rushing yards, and he looks today to pull yet another major upset for his Vanderbilt football team.
And he's been banged up, though, with the latest on his status for this game. Let's check in with a third member of our crew, Taylor McGregor.
Dave, he's been dealing with a left groin injury that's really limited his mobility. Last week against LSU, he had just 5 rushing attempts after averaging nearly 15 in his previous games. He has had another week to heal up, and I was watching him in warm-ups. He had a huge smile on his face. He was running everywhere, and OC Tim Beck told me the initial reports are that he feels really good, but they told me he will not really know until he gets in game and see how that growing reacts. Another thing to pay attention to, Beck told me we will see backup quarterback Nate Johnson at some point in this game.
And Pavia, Taylor, very animated in pregame, mic'd up on senior day.
Drop me back 100 times, and I'll win this game by myself. Get in here. Hey, I love y'all boys. It's coming off too fast. You ain't gonna get there. It's coming off too fast. Hey. Ball so hard, University right here. Win on me, win on 3, watch it.
New Mexico, number 2, Diego Pavia.
A very confident Pavia. Kickoff is coming up. This presentation of the SEC on ABC will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. From First Bank Stadium in Nashville, you're watching the SEC on ABC. About 80-20 in terms of Volunteer fans to Commodore fans in a Vanderbilt home game. Vandy trying to clinch its first winning season in 11 years. They're already going to a bowl game for the first time since 2018. Tennessee trying to get to 10 wins for the second time in 3 years and likely a spot in the college football playoff. Junior Sherrill on the kick return for Vanderbilt. And he's got some room past the 30-yard line. It's a foot race at midfield. Junior Sherrill going to take the opening kickoff back for a Vanderbilt touchdown. The madness picks up where it left off last night in the Georgia Tech game. Junior Sherrill, kickoff return for a touchdown. 13 seconds in. First for Vanderbilt in 3 years. And the extra point makes it 7-0.
Wow, what a start for Vanderbilt. The speed of Junior Sherrill, but how about the blocking out in front? Go ahead and freeze this, guys. Couple of key blocks right here. 44 gets one, 84 off the side. And then it's just speed from Junior Sherrill. Open grass out in front, picking them up, putting them down. What a start for Vanderbilt. Could not have scripted it any better for Clark Lee. Junior Sherrill letting them know it's going to be a long day here in Nashville.
As mentioned, the first in 3 years for the Commodores. We wondered, with Tennessee playing a lot of night games this year, an 11 a.m. kickoff, how would the Vols handle this with all that's on the line? They've never been to the college football playoff, and they're down 7-zip. Peyton Lewis deep now for Tennessee, and Brock Taylor will put it away. Lewis with a shot. And Vanderbilt's all over him. He will not even get to the 20-yard line. Tackled at the 17. Jalen Ruth with the stop. Well, Tennessee's offense is powered by their outstanding running back, Dylan Sampson, who has 22 rushing touchdowns, a school record. He needs one more to tie Tebow and Trey Mason for third most in SEC history. It'd be quite a day if he catches Derrick Henry, who won the Heisman Trophy that year in 2015 with 28 rushing touchdowns.
Well, he's got great vision. He is tough to tackle, and home run speed in the open field. Somewhat embarrassing, he was not a finalist for the Doak Walker, but one of the best running backs in all of college football.
Tennessee starting on its 17-yard line. Nico Iamaleava, the quarterback, handing off, and Sampson is wrestled to the ground after a short gain. 2 yards on 1st and 10, and for Nico, 13th career start at quarterback, 10-2 record, 1-2 on the road. He did play well at Georgia, not well early on at Arkansas. The numbers out of conference much better, as you would imagine. Sampson off the right side makes it to the 25. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 2. The ball came out, and Vanderbilt saying they have it. They do. A fumble recovery by the Commodores after they just returned the opening kickoff for 6. Sampson coughs it up. Vanderbilt comes up with it.
Well, C.J. Taylor, the senior, in his final game here at home in Nashville, rips this football out. We call it getting the lawnmower going.
Nick Rinaldi with the recovery.
Defenders had Dylan Sampson pulled up. Watch C.J. Taylor come in and rip this football out. Excellent job. As he's being held up, he just yanks at that football, rips it away, and Vanderbilt on top. Incredible start after the kick return, and then the rip away and take away for their defense.
Was that left leg down before the ball came out? Any part of the body other than the foot or the hand? But they're not going to review this further, it looks like. It is a takeaway. Jason Autry, the referee, signaling for a 1st down, so he must have been told by the replay booth that it indeed was a fumble. And Vanderbilt starting inside the 30. Already up 7-0, less than a minute in. And again, everything on the line for Tennessee. Cedric Alexander got the fake, and Pavia kept it to the 22. He had games against Virginia Tech that Vanderbilt won, where he rushed for 26 times, 20 carries against Alabama, a season low 6 last week against LSU. And as Taylor mentioned at the top, not 100% in that game. A carry here on 1st down.
He's going to give this offense everything he has. Knows this offense inside and out for New Mexico State. Spread option, tough, gritty, confident player in Pavia.
Pavia pulls it back and lobs it to the end zone. Off the hands of Skinner. He could not come up with it, incomplete.
Well, this ball right on the hands of Quincy Skinner. One-on-one coverage on the outside. These corners for Tennessee are really good. It's Jermod McCoy in coverage, and this ball outside shoulder. Skinner just unable to track it and bring it in. And third down is going to be such a key today for Vanderbilt. Coming into this game, in the games that they've won, they've been over 50%. They've struggled under 25% in games that they've lost. Look for 9, Eli Stowers, their tight end, the go-to guy.
He's got 44 catches on the year, one of the best tight ends in the SEC. Instead, Pavia over the middle to a receiver, Junior Sherrill, who had the kick return for a touchdown, and he's going to be close to a first down at the 11. And he got it, first down, Vandy.
Just a simple slant to Junior Sherrill. Nice job going up, catching that football, absorbing the contact, and moving the chains. And right on cue, this offense already off to a good start, converting on their first third down attempt.
And Tennessee, one of the best defenses on third down this season. But they give that one up. Fresh set of downs from the 16. Monty Jones gets the carry. And a gain of 2. 17th carry on the season for Jones. Let's check in with Taylor.
An interesting development on the sideline, Dave. The in-game video that is new to college football this year is not working on the Vanderbilt sideline, so therefore Tennessee cannot use it as well. And that's an important development considering the fumble. This is usually when teams want to be able to immediately go to that iPad, figure out what happened, but right now they're not able to.
Okay, thanks for the update, Taylor. See how that impacts the rest of this series, if at all. 2nd and 9 for Vanderbilt.
See them taking it all the way down inside of 5 on the play clock.
They want to shorten the game. Tennessee coach is very aware of that. Pavia keeps it. And Pavia down to the 11. Conference USA Player of the Year last year at New Mexico State. Started out at New Mexico Institute. Got no offers coming out of high school in Albuquerque. So he went to junior college, won a national championship there in 2021. Then spent 2 years in New Mexico State. And now is the leading rusher among quarterbacks in his first year in the SEC.
I just love his confidence. I mean, he oozes with confidence, and he is fearless. And he has got this entire Vanderbilt program believing with him leading this team.
Big third down for Tennessee right now defensively. Trying to hold Vandy to 3. As Alexander breaks a tackle and got the first down. It'll be 1st and goal from the Tennessee 4.
Well, Cedric Alexander has been very good for this rushing game, and he's going to run right through Will Brooks. You see the acceleration through the hole as Vanderbilt converts yet again on third down, keeping this drive alive. Good physical running from the sophomore running back.
It's the 118th meeting between these schools. Tennessee's won 5 in a row. Obviously, Vandy is not Tennessee's chief rival, but Vanderbilt clearly with hatred for the Vols, about 3 hours away in Knoxville. Here on rivalry weekend on 1st and goal. Alexander gets the edge, dives for the goal line, in, touchdown Vanderbilt. What a start for the Commodores. How many people saw this coming? Less than 5 minutes into the game, it's already 13-0.
Well, one thing about Cedric Alexander, he's bouncy. Watch James Pierce, one of the best defensive ends in college football. He's unable to set that edge. And Alexander able to bounce outside. Good blocking on the perimeter from Quincy Skinner. But with the vision and ability to bounce from Cedric Alexander, it's going to be a key that these edge players of Tennessee hold up and are firm. James Pierce gets caught just a touch inside. Alexander makes him pay. And Clark Lee's got to be on cloud 9 with the start from his football team.
He's in not only the SEC Coach of the Year running, but National Coach of the Year running for the job he's done. Just 2 wins last year, 6-5 this year, 3-4 in conference play. Cedric Alexander was in. Indeed, a touchdown, and now the extra point from Taylor. Well, you think about Vanderbilt. They beat Alabama when it was #1. They beat Virginia Tech week 1. They lost in double overtime to Missouri. Lost by only 3 against Texas. Won at Auburn. They're for real and proving it again here early on. Up 14-0 over #8 Tennessee.
Championship weekend begins next Friday.
Great weekend next weekend, but man, we got so many outstanding, meaningful games today. And how about this start for Vanderbilt, knowing that Tennessee has to win? The Vols have 2 losses. They do not qualify for the SEC title game, so no chance in an automatic bid, relying on the at-large as Peyton Lewis returns it past the 25 out to the 27-yard line.
It's been a wild start to this game, and Vanderbilt has excellent special teams, but right out of the chute, Junior Sherrill with really good blocking up front finds a seam and takes it to the house. Then this Vandy defense gets a big takeaway, the 4th lost fumble of the year for Dylan Sampson, and they cash in after a couple of 3rd down conversions and a big touchdown run from Cedric Alexander.
They go back to Dylan Sampson, who lost a fumble on the last play, and then he breaks a tackle here. Stays in bounds before being wrapped up at the 45-yard line. So a gain of 28 yards for Dylan Sampson after the fumble on his last carry.
Well, they're going to pull backside guard, and they're going to pull the tight end out in front. And then it's Dylan Sampson breaking the tackle and showing that home run speed in the open field. He is so electric. If he can get some space, he can create some big-time plays for this Tennessee offense.
He is 7th in the country in rushing, and they're going to need explosive plays from the run game. One of their big play receivers, Brew McCoy, who's been banged up off and on this year. Injury to lower body flared up in warm-up, so it's doubtful we'll see him. And he leads the team in catches. Nico back to throw. And the pass batted back to Iamaleava, incomplete.
Was a nice job here by Coley. He's just going to read the eyes of the quarterback, Nico Iamaleava. Get right in that throwing lane, get up. He almost caught that, Dave.
Coley, a transfer from Notre Dame, as a penalty marker is down. Movement by Tennessee.
5-yard penalty remains 2nd down.
Lance Hurd, the left tackle. What do you think of this defense? And being coordinated by the head coach, Clark Lee, who called the defense when he was at Notre Dame, went to a couple of college football playoffs there. It's his first year calling the defense in year 4 as a head coach at Vandy. Iamaleava to throw on 2nd and 15. Out in space to Sampson. Wrapped up and dropped at midfield by DeRicky Wright. Well, just a 1-yard gain.
That's going to be a key all day. Tackling on the edge in the perimeter for this Vanderbilt defense. It's been an issue, but a nice job on 2nd down. See if Clark Lee dials up a pressure and tries to get the freshman quarterback uncomfortable on this 3rd and long.
And a timeout by Vanderbilt. Back in a moment with the Commodores leading, but Tennessee on the move. A critical 3rd down when we return.
ABC College Football is presented by Tums Gummy Bites. Get fast relief of occasional heartburn. Use as directed. And in part by Fairfield by Marriott. Enjoy the home field advantage at Fairfield.
Senior day maybe for Diego Pavia. He's suing the NCAA for more eligibility, asking for a couple of years that he lost to junior college. How about Vanderbilt in the year they've had under Clark Lee with an improved defense? They got off to their best start in 42 years.
Made such a difference taking over the defensive side. The defensive coordinator, he knew last year he needed to make changes, and they paid dividends. Squirrel White, third down target here for Nico Iamaleava.
It's 3rd and 14. They'll rush 3, drop 8 in coverage. Nico surveying, throwing complete. And a helmet comes flying off from Brazel as he makes the catch to move the chains, and a gain of 21.
With zone coverage and an excellent find on the dig route by Chris Brazel. Good route. And a very important throw there for Nico Iamaleava. Big first down, confidence building type of throw. Very important to keep this drive alive and try to take away some of that momentum that Vanderbilt has stolen here early in this ball game.
Redshirt freshman quarterback from Long Beach, California. Hadn't played in a lot of cold weather games. A beautiful throw there. Touchdown, Dante Thornton Jr. Great response by Nico Iamaleava and the Vols.
Well, this is what being able to run the football Dylan Sampson does. It's going to get this safety to come downhill, and it's going to open up this post for Thornton in the middle of the field. This is like stealing. Very easy. Get that safety up. Middle of the field's wide open. And a great response from Nico in this Tennessee offense.
5th touchdown catch on the year for Thornton. The extra point from Gilbert makes it 14-7.
Well, it was a slow start for Tennessee out of the blocks. The offense needed to answer, and that's exactly what they did. We got a big-time game here in the Music City.
Great start to the final weekend of the college football regular season. On Friday, Boise State inching closer maybe to getting a bye as one of the top 4 highest ranked conference champions for the new college football playoff 12-team format. Ole Miss still alive with 3 losses, although the chances aren't great of them getting it at large. Georgia with an incredible come from behind win in 8 overtimes over Georgia Tech. That kept all of us up well past bedtime last night for this early kick. Time now for Dusty's defensive dude. Some of the great players we'll see today.
Absolutely one of the best pass rushers in all of college football in James Pierce. His first step explosiveness, the natural bend he has. I think he's one of the absolute best defensive players in the country. And Randon Fontenette, he has been excellent coming off the edge. The versatility he provides in the run game, in the cover game. Both of these guys have been stellar. James Pierce, we'll see what kind of impact he can have on this football game. It's a different kind of offense. Not always going to be asked to pin his ears back and rush the passer. They're going to have to be smart and disciplined against this option in Diego Pavia.
Tennessee back in the game after picking up a 3rd down and 14. Pavia dumping it out to Sherrill, who had the kick return for a touchdown, and he's thrown down back at the 27-yard line by Christian Harrison.
Really nice job defending the perimeter, trying to get that screen set up and utilize the speed of Sherrill. Christian Harrison says, not up in here, as he rips Sherrill to the ground.
Tennessee, number 4 in scoring defense. They give up only 13 points per game. Already surrendered 14 here today. 7 on special teams, of course. Pavia to throw on 2nd and long, and the ball tipped and incomplete. Joshua Josephs does not get the publicity that James Pierce does, but very talented.
He is excellent and really good with his hands. Nice job here, shutting the rush down, identifying when Pavia is going to throw the football, creating that pass breakup. To your point, he's really stepped up even against the run so far this season. great negative plays and a nice job getting that ball to the ground.
Meanwhile, Elijah Simmons got bent back as he was being blocked. And the fifth-year senior from Memphis being tended to at the 24-yard line. Well, the defensive line for Tennessee, excellent. They've got a lot of great players on defense, but they go really deep, as you see Simmons really frustrated with the injury as Josh Heupel comes onto the field to check on his vet.
You hate to see that for Elijah Simmons. Just part of this great depth and rotation that they have here at Tennessee. Working on the inside, trying to push the pocket. Tough to tell exactly what happened there.
Yeah, you saw him get bent back, but you wonder, you know, was there a non-contact injury to his lower leg before, as he's going to try to, with help, get to the sideline.
It's one of the deepest defensive lines in all of college football, and it's been by design for Tim Banks. And Elijah Simmons been a key cog in that rotation all throughout the course of the year. Hope that he's going to be okay. And
look at that, 11 players with 100+ snaps just on the D-line. And Tim Banks, a Broyles Award nominee again for the top assistant coach in college football. It's the third time that he's been a nominee in his fourth year now as the defensive coordinator at Tennessee. Meanwhile, it's a 3rd down and 8, so momentum has shifted a little bit with Tennessee scoring at a 28-yard touchdown pass by Nico to Dante Thornton, and now the Tennessee defense looking to get the ball back to the redshirt freshman quarterback.
Well, touched on James Pierce earlier. This is a situation where he can pin his ears back and he can come after the quarterback, moving around, trying to make them identify where he's coming from. He'll be up top at the top of your screen right here.
He's got Joshua Josephs next to him, standing up. And here comes Pierce in the face of Pavia. And Pavia with a gorgeous throw for a first down to Eli Stowers, the tight end. Stowers transferred with Pavia from New Mexico State.
Well, Eli Stowers, just so good. He plays a tight end position, but you're going to find him on the dig. And you see Pavia work away from the pressure from Pierce, put that ball out in front. Excellent hands going up, squeezing that football in the air. Eli Stowers, such a key piece of this offense. His first year to truly play tight end, and man, has he excelled.
Pavia pitching it at the last second. Nice catch by Alexander, and close to a first down. Well, back to your point on Stowers, he was a quarterback initially at Texas A&M before shifting to tight end, and actually battled Pavia for the quarterback job at New Mexico State.
Yeah, he was the backup quarterback a year ago, but also played tight end. Nobody accounts for the pitch man and Alexander. Good decision by Pavia as Harrison came to the quarterback. Nobody there to account for Alexander, and a nice chunk run on the option pitch.
Till they get the first down in Tennessee territory. For the second time, the other was on a lost fumble by Sampson, where they started inside the ball 30. Pavia keeps it, running lane downhill. And gang tackled at the 37 by Arion Carter. Well, you may have heard Pavia when he was mic'd up in pregame saying, just let me drop back. Give me the ball 100 times and I'll win the game. And his footprints all over the Tennessee defense right now. Not just the fingerprints, but the footprints as well. Doing a great job running the ball.
He's dealing with a lot. He's been so banged up. This season has taken a toll, but he looks fresh today. He looks like he's got a little bit more pep in his step, a little bit more burst than he had a week ago against LSU. Great start for Diego Pavia.
Yeah, just a handful of carries last week. Pavia in trouble. And a flag comes down as the pass is thrown out of bounds. Pressure by Jackson Moy. Did he get the face mask of Pavia?
But They cut across the front. Nice job by Moy playing with his hands to stay alive. And he gets the face mask of Diego Pavia. He's so slippery, Dave. Tough to get him on the ground. And as he shed, Moy got him in the face mask.
Face mask. Defense number 51. 15-yard penalty for the previous spot includes an automatic first down.
Jackson Moy is going to be inside. He plays the cut well, gets that pressure on Pavia. It's like he's got eyes in the back of his head. Slides to his left, and Moy reaches out to try to get Pavia, and it's a handful of face masks.
5 passing attempts, 3 carries already for Pavia, and he's marched his team back deep into Tennessee territory, down to the 22. Two-time SEC Offensive Player of the Week in his first season in this league. And Pavia going to hand it off to Cedric Alexander, who's dropped by Jermod McCoy. But it's about 5 or 6 yards again on first down. Don't forget, we got the Iron Bowl following us on ABC, and then a spot against Georgia in the SEC title game will be decided tonight. It'll either be Texas or Texas A&M going to Atlanta.
What a day of college football. We saw it last night. We saw it even go back to Thursday with Memphis upsetting Tulane, and today Iron Bowl, Texas A&M. That rivalry rekindled. Unbelievable the way this season has played out, and so much on the line here this final week of the regular season.
Alexander running behind Fisher, the fullback, and he powers forward for about 3 to the 14. Third down.
Third down. And a key down we've talked about. Vanderbilt been flawless so far, 3 for 3. This feels like a play where Diego Pavia is going to keep it in his hands. Lean on himself. In this spot, short yardage, a little line change for Tennessee, getting some fresh bodies on the field. I'd be surprised if Diego Pavia doesn't keep the ball and call his own number.
Pavia on the run, being chased, and dumps it off at the last second, but incomplete. Cameron Johnson was leaking out, and Pavia thought he was going to run down the field, and now it's 4th down.
They want to boot him out, get him on the edge. It's well defended outside, and nowhere to go with the football. This is the right call here by Clark Lee to take the points and try to confirm this field goal. He's got a very good kicker, and Brock Taylor try to regain that 2-score lead and cash in on this excellent drive from Vanderbilt.
But meanwhile, big mistake by Cameron Johnson. Pavia wasn't happy with him. He wondered why he ran out of bounds. He was wide open. Pavia made a great play to set him up, but Johnson not sure where he was on the field. 32-yard attempt here. And Brock Taylor now 18 of 21. That's 11 straight made field goals, and the lead is 10. We'll kick off your NFL Sunday with a countdown crew. They'll break down the big matchup between the Eagles and the Ravens. Sunday NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. Then on Monday, be in the Mile High City for a Monday Night Football matchup. Broncos trying to get a wild card, given that the Chiefs don't seem to lose to anybody except Buffalo. They take on the Browns, 8 Eastern ESPN. They have a 77% chance of making the playoffs with a win.
How about the year Bo Nix is having? Man, he has been excellent. Sean Payton get the quarterback that he wanted in there, and clearly it's paying huge dividends for the Broncos this season.
Full house here in Nashville, but mostly fans from Knoxville. 180 miles on I-40 separate these two schools. It's certainly one of the biggest Tennessee-Vanderbilt games in this rivalry, which dates back to around 1900. They've been playing every year since 1945. Playoff position and a berth potentially for Tennessee if it can win the game. This kickoff goes out of bounds. So it's going to be great starting field position here for the Vols. Time now for Built for Success, presented by Ram Trucks.
Well, it's been a great start for Vanderbilt. In case you're just tuning in, the opening kickoff of the game goes 100 yards for Junior Sherrill, as you see his excellent speed in the open field. Next possession, Dylan Sampson, one of the best running backs in the country. Ball's on the ground, ripped out by C.J. Taylor, punched in on the ensuing possession by Cedric Alexander. And now Vanderbilt cashes in on this pass drive with a field goal. And a great start here for Clark Lee's Commodores.
Again, just the 17 points surrendered by Tennessee. We haven't seen that this year. They haven't blown anybody out this year. And their offense at times been a reason why that's the case, as Sampson gets smacked at the line of scrimmage by Brian Longwell. No gain on the play.
Well, Brian Longwell, they're dialing it up right now. Aggressiveness, as you're going to see from Clark Lee. Safeties coming down, linebackers coming down. Nice negative play by the sophomore linebacker.
Tennessee going with tempo. Nico back to throw. Everybody covered. Iamaleava taking off, stays in bounds, and then gets drilled by Longwell out of play, close to a first down. Gain of 9 for Nico.
I like the decision by Nico, though. I thought last week there was a couple of third downs that he elected to use his athleticism with nothing down the field. There was nothing there initially, and it's a quality pickup setting up 3rd and short. Peyton Lewis in the backfield. The true freshman running back. He's got great size and a downhill runner. They lean on the rushing attack with multiple tight ends in the backfield.
Lewis trying to power his way to the line to gain. Came up short. Does Josh Heupel roll the dice and go for it on 4th down from his 44?
I think he's going to keep the offense on the field. I think he's going to go for it. They like to bring in Jackson Moy, big defensive tackle, in on this. Get some heavier bodies in here. And he is.
Do you like it? It's risky.
It is risky. I do like it, though. I think you lean on this offense. I think he knows he's going to have to create some momentum. And I'm going with the tush-push. I'm keeping it in Nico's hands, and I'm giving the push from behind.
That's how they're lining up. Instead, they hand it off to the tight end Kitzelman, and he did not get it. Vanderbilt's defense not fooled. They gave it to the first man through, the tight end, and Miles Capers with the hit.
Wow. Wow. Demarion Thomas, the big defensive tackle. He's every bit of 334. Watch him just win inside on Cooper Mays. Right at the point of attack. Gets in that A-gap, and he stands up Miles Kitzelman for a huge 4th down stop. I thought they would have just gone with the quarterback sneak, push from behind. They give it to the fullback, and a flex from Demarion Thomas.
So Tennessee gives up a kick return for a touchdown to start the game. Then a fumble inside of its 30. Now a turnover on downs at the 45. And Vanderbilt takes over, up 10, late in the first quarter. Field goal on its last possession. Pavia hands it off. He got leveled as he gave it to Alexander. Jalen Smith on the stop after a 4-yard run.
Vanderbilt has really done a nice job opening this game up, being able to run the football effectively. Even on that 1st down run, picking up 4 yards. That's exactly where they want to be, staying in front of the chains. It's kind of been the way these opening 3 possessions have gone for Vanderbilt, being able to establish a nice job on the ground against a stout Tennessee run defense.
You saw that best first quarter in 17 years for Vanderbilt. Alexander again. And close to a first down. Carter was there first for the Vols. He is going to be short, 3rd down.
It's good blocking up front. See the center, Xavier Castillo, open pave a path. Fullbacks getting involved. Gabe Fisher. I like the hesitation as well from Alexander, and then you see the burst to finish off the run. Pavia under center. They like to hand the football off in these spots.
And they do with Alexander. Upended, but he got the first down. Bryson Eason made the hit. But another third down conversion for Vandy.
Well, this game could not have gone more on script for Clark Lee. Really impacting the game in all three phases here so far with the teams, special teams, the defense, and the offense right on script. Third down is going to be a huge key. They're now 4 of 5, and they continue to wind this game clock, the play clock down every single time to continue to shrink this game the best they possibly can.
Tennessee coaches said we know we're only going to get 8 or 9 possessions offensively. Can't get behind. Chase Gillespie, the ball carrier, down to the 28. He becomes, along with Monty Jones, the backups to Cedric Alexander, with A.J. Newberry, very talented running back, injured in practice this week, not available for this game. Vanderbilt on the move, looking to add to a 10-point lead after one. This presentation of the SEC on ABC will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. ABC presented by Tums Gummy Bites. This is Fairfield by Marriott Rivalry Week. Vanderbilt leading Tennessee 17-7. A Tennessee loss, but very well in the Vols' chances of making it to the college football playoff. Vanderbilt trying to secure a winning season for the first time since 2013. And a little trickery. The pitch to Hoskins, now throwing it downfield. It's dropped. Cole Spence could not hang on.
Well, this is executed so well. Little reverse pass. You're going to see it start here, and it's going to work over here. And they're just going to leak out the tight end. And Cole Spence unable to bring this in. Really well dialed up. Hoskins put it low, and Spence unable to go down and make the catch.
So now 3rd down and 7. Vanderbilt 4 of 5 on 3rd down. That's why time of possession is 12-3 in terms of minutes favoring Vanderbilt. And Pavia into single coverage, juggled, and it was picked off on the redirection. Intercepted by Jermod McCoy. On the throw to Sherrill. What a play by McCoy, his 4th interception.
Well, Jermod McCoy has been sensational all year for this Tennessee defense. He was a Thorpe semifinalist, which goes for the best defensive back in the country. And it's just one-on-one outside with Junior Sherrill. They both go up for the football. And Jermod McCoy, off the deflection, flips over, and that ball hits him right in the chest. That's incredible concentration and a massive takeaway for Tennessee.
Vanderbilt does not turn the ball over. They have the fewest giveaways in the SEC. That's just the 4th interception thrown by Pavia. And obviously, as we just showed you, because of an incredible play by the DB. 1st down on the 20 after the touchback. Play action. And now Nico taking a shot downfield. It's underthrown and picked off. Back at the 35-yard line. Martell Height comes up with the interception, and now penalty flags come flying in post whistle. Second interception for Height. Flags were thrown around the 45-yard line on the return by Height.
Ruling on the field is an interception for a 1st down by Vanderbilt. After the play, personal foul, intercepting team number 6. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed in the dead ball spot. 1st down, Vanderbilt.
So Colby Taylor called for a penalty, but it will be Vanderbilt ball.
Well, there's no safety over the top. It's just one-on-one outside. Clean pocket for Nico, and he just underthrows this football, and he allows Height to make a huge play and get the ball back for his offense. But Dante Thornton one of the best deep ball threats in all of college football. He's behind the coverage. That ball just poorly thrown, and Vanderbilt gets the football back.
We had a game in Knoxville a few weeks ago. They were hitting on those deep balls against Mississippi State. And Josh Heupel wanted to take a shot after getting the takeaway, put some pressure on the defense, but underthrown. Saw the time of possession, and now 2 giveaways by Tennessee, plus the turnover on downs. Yeah, the lost fumble by Sampson, now the Nico pick. Vandy ball on its 19 after the penalty. Straight ahead, Alexander dropped by Arion Carter. Was checking with Taylor.
Immediately after that last play, Dante Thornton Jr. came to the sideline in visible pain. They're now checking out his right knee, the outside of his right knee. And remember, guys, Brew McCoy also unavailable here today. So all of a sudden, Tennessee's receiving core is seemingly depleted.
Yeah, and Squirrel White has not been targeted. Brazel has a catch. We have not seen McCoy yet, listed as doubtful. Re-injuring in warm-ups, lower body situation. Pavia from the pocket and knocked down. Incomplete. Intended for Sherrill. And that was Jalen McMurray who got there to bat the ball away.
The pass took a while to get there. Long throw for Pavia. And it's good defense by McMurray. And in the wins this year,
third down conversions have been the key. Pavia hit. And the pass incomplete, but flags come flying in. They're going to get Joshua Josephs for roughing the passer. And that's going to give Vanderbilt an automatic first down. Josh Heupel wants an explanation.
Roughing the passer, defense number 19 for a second act, driving the quarterback into the ground. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, includes an automatic first down.
And that's the difference. It's into the ground. Joshua Josephs is fine initially. He's in good position on his rush, head to the side. It's at the end as he's got Pavia in the air, and then the thrust into the ground. And that's tough. I've been there as a defensive player. It's so hard as a defensive lineman. You know, you putting everything you have into getting the quarterback to the ground. They just continue to protect quarterbacks, and when you thrust into the ground, Dave, it's going to draw the flag.
And so a first down via penalty. We just showed you that third down conversion graphic. They get one because of the roughing the passer, and now might be a free play because of an offside. Pavia stacked up, led by Omari Thomas and Pierce.
Offside, defense number 21. 5-yard
So
penalty.
Thomas was offside, and James Pierce getting into it a little bit with Omari Thomas. So the two teammates arguing a little bit there. Let's bring in Bill Lamagna for that. Curious, Bill, your thoughts on the last hit by Joshua Josephs and whether that was the right call.
You know, it's an adjustment I have to make, because when I was on the field, and it's been 10 years, that was a legal hit. Today, they want that protection for the quarterback. So when you take that type of drive to the ground, they're going to call that. That's the new era of calling roughing the passer.
Even though Josh Heupel did not like the call. So now 1st and 5, and the give to Alexander. Tackled by Will Brooks and Carter. Close to a first down. And a new set of downs for Vanderbilt.
Continue the good running off the left side of that offensive line. Really well done by Gunnar Hansen, Stephen Hubbard, opening up that hole for Cedric Alexander. This Vanderbilt offense continues to run the football with success.
But how about they have fewer yards overall than Tennessee, yet they've got the lead, and Vandy's had the ball the entire half. Alexander gets it belted. At the line of scrimmage, no gain on the play. Harrison with the hit.
Christian Harrison been very active from that star nickel position, coming downhill, making a nice play right at the line of scrimmage. You see a line change once again for Tennessee. You're going to see them rotate in a lot of different guys. And Vanderbilt, no rush. Change their personnel groupings quite a bit. It allows Tennessee the opportunity to get fresh bodies on that defensive line.
Play 26 coming up of the day. 2-to-1 run-to-pass ratio for Vandy. Diego Pavia back to throw. Over the middle, incomplete. Trying to hit Alexander out of the backfield with a linebacker Carter in coverage. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Arion Carter has been really good for this defense, both against the run and the pass. Good coverage on Alexander, setting up this 3rd and long situation.
Tennessee will not play in the SEC championship game next week. It's going to be Georgia against either Texas or Texas A&M. That game tonight, by the way. Longhorns Aggies meeting for the first time since 2011. So Tennessee has to rely on an at-large bid. A loss, you'd have to think, eliminates them. A win, they're likely into the college football playoff. Pavia back to throw on 3rd and long. In trouble, steps up, gets away from Josephs. And Pavia tucking, staying in bounds. And the ball came out, but he's ruled down, close to a 1st down. Going to be 4th down and about 1.5 yards. And the offense staying on the field.
And that's some of that Pavia magic. You see him making something out of nothing.
Jason Jenkins shaken up for Tennessee. Will evaluate the choice by Clark Lee to go for it if indeed he goes for it after the timeout. So it looked like the ball should be closer to the 45. But they're spotting it at the 46. 4th and 2. Do you like the decision to go for it?
No surprise whatsoever. Clark Lee came to win this football game right around midfield. I think there's no doubt he's going to put the ball in his quarterback's hands and try to keep this drive alive.
The only thing is, if you punt it, you got a really good punter in Jesse Mirko. You pin him deep. Pavia hiding the ball, and now in trouble. And he did not get anywhere near back to the line of scrimmage. Will Brooks and Arion Carter all over it. They were trying to catch the defense off guard, off play action, with Pavia holding the ball down near his leg, but Tennessee was not fooled.
Well, they wanted to go to Eli Stowers outside the tight end. And to your point, Dave, nobody was fooled. Watch the coverage outside. He's going to try to just sneak out here, and the coverage is perfect and pristine. Pavia, it's only a 1-receiver route, so he's got no other option. As he realizes his man's covered, he tries to tuck it and go, but it's extremely well defended by Tennessee. Huge stop for the Vols defense.
And if you punt, you pin Tennessee back deep. They just turned the ball over for the 2nd time on the last possession. Now the Vols take over near midfield. And here's Sampson running left, making the first defender miss, and gets 8 yards. Let's go to the studio and check in with Kevin.
Dave, time now for our All-State check-in. Number 2, Ohio State hosting Michigan. And Dan Will Howard picked off here by Amir Hall.
Yeah, well late on the outbreaking route towards the sideline. Beautiful job by Hall squatting on it and then finding a way to punch that in.
Michigan up 7-3. Howard right now is in the medical tent. Back to Dave, Dusty, and Taylor.
Okay, first of all, incomplete pass on the field, but that's a shocker. If somehow Michigan wins that game, what that would do to what we assumed was that Ohio State was in the college football playoff.
It would be insane, and what it would do for the psyche of Ryan Day. I don't even want to go there. A lot of football left. A lot of football left in that game, but that would be jarring and really shake things up with the college football playoff. Close pass on the sidelines right there, ruled incomplete.
And so would this, if this score holds up, because Tennessee's at 3 losses. You'd have to think even Alabama, South Carolina, Ole Miss, perhaps even A&M, if they can beat Texas, those teams maybe come back into the mix to get in as an at-large. Ruling on the field, incomplete pass. They're taking a look. Back in a moment.
ABC College Football, presented by Tums Gummy Bites, is brought to you by T-Mobile. Rock out at the T-Mobile SEC Championship Concert with Dan and Shay. live December 7th at noon Eastern on Marty and McGee.
Vanderbilt sharing Thanksgiving as a team on Thursday. Meanwhile here, ruling on the field overturned by replay. A catch by Brazel, and so Tennessee with a first down at the Vanderbilt 37.
It was close, but they got this call right under review. See that pass in Brazel's chest, foot on the ground still. It's a nice job by the replay booth getting the call right.
See if they try to get Dylan Sampson going. Just 4 carries. One of those was a lost fumble. He'll get it here, running to the left. And dragged down by Fontenette at the 33, but that's 4 yards.
A patented counter that they run so well here at Tennessee. Pull backside guard tackle and the downhill running from Dylan Sampson. I would expect we continue to see more and more of Dylan Sampson. Obviously the early fumble, that has been one issue this year. 4 lost fumbles on the season, but they want to get him downhill, get him explosive.
And his backup is in the game, Deshaun Bishop, and he's tackled at the 30, so 3 yards there. Third down coming up. Tennessee going with tempo. Bishop staying in the game for Sampson.
This could easily be 2-down territory with the kicking issues that they've had. Would not be surprising if this is already 4-down territory for Josh Heupel.
Yeah, Max Gilbert, although he's made his last 5 at a stretch where he was 1 for 6, this would be about a 48-yarder from here. Movement by Tennessee. Brian Longwell got awfully close to the line of scrimmage. Was he in the neutral zone? And did he cause Tennessee then to move? John Campbell Jr., 7th-year player, right tackle, came out of his stance.
Ball start. Offense, right tackle. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
I don't know about this, Dave. You're going to see Longwell on the blitz. He gets in the neutral zone. Bill, how is this not a fall? How is this not offsides? Watch Longwell coming downhill.
I see that as the defense in the zone causing the offense to react. I would have put that one on the defense.
Yeah.
That's what Josh Heupel was saying as well, but does not get the call, and now it's 3rd and 8. And another penalty flag down.
False start. Offense number 18. 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
That's on Deshaun Bishop. You could kind of see him leaning forward in the backfield. That's 3rd and 13.
They're bringing pressure off the edge. Brandon Fontenette was coming off the edge, and I think it got the attention of Deshaun Bishop. Just a little bit of movement. What I thought should have been an automatic first down on the offside. Now you're sitting here at 3rd and 13.
In Tennessee, penalties have been a killer. They're 122nd of the country. Gonna just keep it on the ground with Bishop here. And he's down to the 32. It'd be about a 50-yard field goal from here, or it's 4th and 7, and Tennessee will kick.
A little surprised to see the kick there. Whenever he called that run, I was expecting that they were going to go ahead and go for it on 4th down. We talked with Coach yesterday about Max Gilbert. He said right around 50 is about their limit. This is pushing the limit with his distance.
He's 2 for 5 on field goals of 50 yards or longer. And it hit the crossbar and went over. It's good. Could that bounce ultimately help Tennessee make the college football playoff? Sometimes you need to get bounces to make the postseason in this sport. They're back within 7 midway through the 2nd quarter.
On the mountaintop, national champion.
ESPN, home of the college football playoff.
And first-round games, remember, will be played on home campuses. Tennessee not only hoping to get in, but to host rather than having to play on the road. And the latest projection, according to the committee, has them on the road at Georgia in the first round. If they lose this game, they likely won't even get in. Touchback, it'll come out to the 25, and here's Kevin.
Dave, time now for the All-State check-in. Booger, South Carolina's offense. I should say their playoff hope's still alive, and their offense led by Lenore Sellers.
No doubt. He drops back. He sees something he doesn't like and then takes off. And this is why they're one of the more dangerous teams in the country and the hottest because of his legs.
Ties the game up at Clemson. That game over on ESPN. Highlights coming your way at the half. Back to you.
5 straight wins for South Carolina. They're 3 spots back at Clemson. Clemson's 12th, the first team out. South Carolina 15th. Be a huge win for the Gamecocks, especially if Tennessee were to lose this game to maybe vault them into the conversation. Cedric Alexander makes his way out to the 30 for about 5, tackled by Carter. And South Carolina has wins over A&M and Missouri. Ole Miss has that win over Georgia. So does Bama. And Bama has the win over South Carolina. How much you think ultimately the head-to-head might matter if it were to come down to that? Those teams, or is it more about how South Carolina is playing right now if they beat Clemson?
Well, it mattered on Tuesday night, right? Because clearly South Carolina, even with the 5-game winning streak, found themselves behind Bama and Ole Miss. But I got to believe a win on the road at Clemson, if South Carolina can get that win, could easily catapult them ahead of Ole Miss and or Alabama. It's going to be fascinating to see what transpires in that game, as well as the Iron Bowl. A lot left for this college football playoff committee to decipher. But if they go on the road and beat Clemson today, that's going to be a very important data point for me on Tuesday night for the committee.
Gunnar Hansen shaken up, the left tackle. Well, you mentioned the Iron Bowl. Alabama currently number 13, taking on Auburn. That's next year on ABC. And then tonight you got Texas A&M. And again, if the Aggies were to beat Texas, you still would have to think Texas gets in as an at-large, because they would have 2 losses. They'd be 10-2. But A&M, remember, lost to Notre Dame. So while they would make the SEC championship game with 3 conference losses, they'd have 4 losses overall. What happened if they win? They get the automatic bid. If they lose, obviously they'd be out at that point.
A lot left to decipher and a lot left to figure out. That's going to be a fun game tonight in College Station.
Here's Alexander trying to find a hole, and he's close to a first down. There's still so much with the championship games next week before we really know for sure who's going to get it. It's just all speculation at this point what the committee's going to do.
And I think that's the biggest point, right? I mean, we can project and we can say, well, if this happens and that happens. This season's been so crazy. Who knows what's going to happen? You really do have to allow these games to play themselves out before you start speaking too definitively. And a big third down here for Vanderbilt, who started strong on third down, but they're starting to go in the wrong direction.
I mean, you got strength of conference. You got to consider SEC versus ACC, Big Ten as well, in terms of how many teams from those leagues get in. Boy, Alexander stumbled coming out of his break, and so Pavia had to throw it downfield for Stowers and overshot him. But it looked like he wanted Alexander, the running back, but Alexander lost his footing, and now a punt coming up.
Well, you called it perfectly. Alexander slips and falls. I think it's really good recovery by Turrentine, the safety. He started like he was going to go to the flats with the running back, and then he peeled off, stayed with Stowers down the field. Another big stop by this Tennessee defense, and all of a sudden right now, after a 3-for-3 start on third down, 1 of 5 since for Vandy.
First punt of the day for either team. Mirko with a Tennessee player right there. A little surprised that player didn't extend to try to block it. Boo Carter with the return man just letting it roll down inside the 10. 56-yard punt. Take a look at the All-State playoff predictor. So with a win, Tennessee's in 97%. With a loss, just a 9% chance of getting in.
Yeah, it sure feels like this is a win and you're in scenario for Tennessee here today. Again, nothing is official, nothing is a guarantee, but it would be shocking if Tennessee wins this game here today, finishes 10-2, and given where they currently sit, are not in the college football playoff.
Josh Heupel's done an amazing job considering where this program was when he took over. 11 wins 2 years ago, 9 wins last year, 9 this year, and looking for 10. And on first down, Dylan Sampson up the middle picks up about 4.
When you think about where this Tennessee program was when he took it over to where it is now, a win today will give them 30 wins over the last 3 seasons. An incredible turnaround for Josh Heupel in this program.
Nico off play action, and he hits Thornton in stride. Past midfield. Inside the 30, inside the 20. Tennessee with a chance to tie the game on the extra point. 86-yard touchdown. Nico's second touchdown pass, both to Thornton. He had 4 touchdowns all season, and now 2 in this first half. Vanderbilt led 14-0. Less than 5 minutes gone by. It's now tied. 6:38 to go in the half.
Well, it's about the play-action pass, one of the most play-action pass teams in the country. And you're going to see Ricky Wright, the safety, come up. Then, just like we saw earlier, just a simple post, and he's working on a true freshman and Jalen Lackey. Jalen Lackey is behind Dante Thornton, and that is a bad place to be for an explosive playmaker like Dante Thornton. And then he picks him up, puts him down, and takes it to the house. One of the most explosive big play wide receivers in the country ties this game up with a massive Tennessee touchdown.
No Brew McCoy. Thornton banged up earlier, back out there, gets the big play. Got an injured Tennessee Vol lineman after the point after. Can't get a number on that just yet. Don't want to speculate until we see for sure. But all the momentum now shifting back to the Vols. And talking with Josh Heupel yesterday, he said, we haven't talked about the playoff really. We said, yeah, we've got a job to finish, but it's more about this is the end of our season, and we want to win this game as opposed to worrying about what the committee's going to do. Andre Karic, the left guard, is the player shaken up for Tennessee, by the way, which would be a big loss. Wins over Oklahoma, Alabama, Florida in overtime. The 2 losses were against Arkansas and Georgia. They didn't play A&M, Mizzou, South Carolina, or LSU.
And one thing Josh told us, we talked to him last night, he said his message to the team, everyone starts something, but few get to finish it. And they've got an opportunity to finish this season and achieve the goals they had before the season of making the college football playoff. It's just a remarkable job that he's done there in Knoxville, Tennessee, and the resurgence of this program has been very, very impressive to watch under the guidance of Josh Heupel.
And the last SEC title game appearance was back in 2007. The last championship was back in '98 when they also won the national title. They have not been to the college football playoff yet. So Heupel's out there. Saw Karic motioning to his excuse me, that's Umarov, the backup right guard that's shaken up there. But you think about going into this year, people thought Tennessee could be a national title contender, and then a lot of people were left wondering what went wrong with the offense a couple times this year, getting down at halftime 3 different times and having to come back to win, needing overtime against Florida. Kentucky was struggling when Tennessee played them, and the offense just couldn't get going. But it finally maybe got unlocked here this quarter.
Well, we've seen at times this year. I thought first half against Georgia, Nico was playing really well. The Bulldogs had answers for him. In the second half, he got to a slow start a week ago, and then he sped up. And when you can get that running game going and make a defense respect it, it sets up the play action and the explosive plays.
Here's Sherrill, and he gets drilled out of bounds. That's one way to keep him from returning it again. Just pin him on the sideline there with no running room. Little extracurricular activity over on the Tennessee bench. And again, not shockingly, you look at non-conference play, and the numbers are not going to be as good. But Again, the first half woes have been really offensively the issue this year in conference play, and it looked like that was going to be the case again here today.
For what they've overcome to tie this thing up, he gave up a kick return, multiple turnovers, a turnover on downs, and to find yourself sitting here 17 apiece. Been a resilient effort here in the first half from Tennessee.
Vanderbilt back on offense. Alexander walloped after a gain of 2. Tennessee coming downhill now. And that was Boo Carter with the big hit.
Diego Pavia as a passer has really had no success today. Just 3 of 10 for 23 yards. The interception in the end zone. You're going to have to find a way to get something going in the passing game, and for Diego Pavia to have some success down the field.
Tennessee stacking the box, and Pavia, despite 8 defenders, gets the first down and more. Past the 40 to the 42. Tennessee expecting run. They got it, and Pavia breaks one for 20.
Boy, when you need a play, just go to Diego Pavia. Nice hole off the right side. How about the physical running through arm tackles by the Vanderbilt quarterback? Really felt all the momentum was starting to go the way of Tennessee. They needed a big play and a nice first down for the Doors.
6 carries already for Pavia. He had that all of last week when he wasn't 100%. He's healthier, went through practice all this week, and certainly looks healthy. Well, there's some movement. Tennessee looked like it jumped into the neutral zone. Pavia again running the ball. Another first down. A gain of close to 12. The hard count by Pavia appeared to draw off a D lineman for Tennessee.
Offside. Defense number 21 in the neutral zone at the snap. The penalty is declined. Result to play is a first down.
Well, this is an excellent job on the pull by Stephen Hubbard. He's going to help open this hole up. Watch him come around and get a key block to help spring Diego Pavia for back-to-back quality runs. See the hard count, get the jump off sides. Nice job by that guard getting up on the second level, getting on Arion Carter and opening up a path for another first down.
Nice response, too, after Tennessee tied the game. Back to Alexander, trying to get the corner, and a flag comes down. Tackle made at the 39 by Carter.
Holding. Offense number 16. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's on Cole Spence, the tight end. We talked about Pavia battling through injury last week. He's taking some shots in this game. A face mask earlier, and gets hit in the helmet here by Boo Carter. We also saw a roughing the passer call on Tennessee against Pavia.
He's as tough as they come, Dave Pasch. You know that. We talked to him this week. He didn't care what it was going to take or how he felt. He was going to come out here and give his team everything that he had. A warrior mentality when he takes the field in Diego Pavia.
Pavia on 1st and 20, looking to throw. The ball is tipped and almost intercepted on the redirection by Brooks. Let's check in with Taylor.
An injury update on the offensive line. Gunnar Hansen, left tackle, is being evaluated in the tent. Moments ago, he came out, and currently they have Cade McConnell in at left tackle. But this is an offensive line that does not have a ton of depth, so any injury there is troubling for the Doors.
All right, and Taylor's mic went out there at the beginning. She was talking about Gunnar Hansen, who was hurt on that last possession for Vanderbilt. 2nd and 20. Tennessee brings some heat. They're showing it here. Pavia's pass is caught near the sideline by Sherrill and spun out of bounds at the 49-yard line by Gibson. A gain of 8 on the play. 3rd down and about 12 here.
Going to have to put the ball in the arm of Diego Pavia. We haven't called Eli Stowers' name very much today. Made one play earlier in the game. Had a catch for 15 yards. This is typically where Diego Pavia looks and the direction of his tight end, of his teammate at New Mexico State. See if Stowers can create some separation and find a way to get open.
Pavia in trouble. Hit and sacked back at the 43. Josephs was there first. Norman Lott on the cleanup. And Vandy has to punt.
Well, this is an excellent game up front. It's going to be with Omar Norman Lott. We call this a tech stunt. Tackle first. The end's going to come underneath. And it's extremely well executed. The tackle gets vertical. He gets that guard's attention. And then you see the excellent looper there inside by Joshua Josephs. Uses hands well. Gets to Diego Pavia. And a big third down sack and another stop for Tennessee.
Second straight punt for Mirko. And the true freshman, Boo Carter, lets it bounce inside the 10. And Vandy will down it at the 4. 51-yard punt, and the ball's backed up. They have all their timeouts and the official 2-minute timeout. 2:41 left in the half. Our Week 14 SEC Network football lineup rolls on today. Missouri ranked number 21 taking on Arkansas, and then we cap off the night with a Skycast version of the Texas A&M game at 7:30 Eastern time with the Longhorns joining the SEC. The rivalry is back. First meeting since 2011 tonight on ABC with Chris and Kirk.
How about that stadium tonight? That might be home of the 13th man, not just the 12th man there this evening. A heated rivalry between those two programs rekindled once again with so much on the line. Going to be off the charts in College Station tonight.
Winner to play Georgia in the SEC title game. Nico throwing it out in the flat to Thornton, and Vandy did a good job on the boundary that time, making sure he didn't have running room. Shoved out of bounds by Rinaldi, who had a fumble recovery earlier in the game at the 8-yard line.
One thing we've seen very aggressive safety play coming down to try to help in run support, and it's led to a lot of green grass in the middle of the field. Does Clarkley adjust that, keep his safeties back a little bit, and say, we're going to let you maybe run the football, but we're not giving up these explosive plays?
Boy, it looked like initially into the neutral zone was Demarion Thomas before movement up front from Cooper Mays, the center. 4-year starter who's one of the best offensive linemen in the SEC.
Long discussion. It seemed pretty clear Thomas was in the neutral zone.
Offside. Defense. Nose tackle in the neutral zone, causing the offense to react. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
It goes from 2nd and 6 to 2nd and 1, and it gets them out of deep in their own end.
It's a savvy, smart play by a veteran player, like you mentioned, in Cooper Mays. He's just so integral, so important to this Tennessee offense. Not just the offensive line. He is the leader. He makes all the calls. He makes everything go. Very prideful Tennessee Volunteers. Father was a great player at Tennessee. His brother played there. We had a chance to chat with him this week. And he's just over the moon about what they've been able to do at Tennessee, turning things around and getting this program back on track.
Takes us to the 2-minute timeout. 2nd and 1 for Tennessee when we come back. Coming back from 14-0 down, the Vols have tied the game. Well, Tennessee's only run 20 plays and had the ball for 8 minutes, but the Vols down 14-0 5 minutes into the game. A kick return for a touchdown to start the game. A turnover by Tennessee. Another quick score by Vandy, but the Vols have come back. A turnover by Vanderbilt inside the 40-yard line. Vandy has not been able to get the passing game going. Meanwhile, Tennessee has. And that's why the game is tied. A penalty flag flies with movement by Tennessee again. Seen this a number of times, and it's not like this is really a road game field. The stadium's 80% full of Tennessee fans.
Ball start. Offense number 53. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
It's on the left tackle, Lance Hurd. That's the 7th penalty on the Vols.
Just exchanging 5 yards there. We had a Demarion Thomas offsides and a false start at the 2nd and 6.
And this could help Vandy with the clock if it can get a stop here in 2nd down. Pass to the perimeter is caught and close to the first down is Chaz Nimrod, just his 10th catch of the year. And it is enough to move the sticks here for UT.
A good block outside. Mike Matthews helps secure that edge and allows Nimrod to get the first down.
Tennessee has all of its timeouts. Sampson, the ball carrier, and he spins away from a defender and gets a first down. We're inside 2 minutes, so the clock will start. On the ready for play, it stops to reset the chains.
Lance Hurd, the key block off that left side. You see the downhill explosiveness from Sampson.
In the top 10 nationally in rushing. And now Nico taking a shot downfield to Brazel, and it's incomplete, but the defender never turned around. Colby Taylor going to get called for interference. He ran through the receiver and did not look back for the ball.
Pass interference, defense number 6. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot includes an automatic first down.
And look, this is hard for Colby Taylor. He's in a dead sprint trying to keep up with Chris Brazel. But as Brazel turns and tries to work back to the football, Taylor working through the body of Brazel and preventing him from making a play on the football. It's an easy call for the official. Tough position to be in when you're in that trail technique and you're trying to keep up with a speedy wide receiver. Going to draw the flag every time.
That puts the ball on the Tennessee 42. This drive started on the Vols 4. 3 timeouts remaining. Minute 34 on the clock. Run Sampson on first down. Gets to the 47. Brought down by Patterson. 5-yard gain.
Boy, this offense so well equipped to operate in the final 2 minutes.
Iamaleava back to throw. Everybody covered. Nico moves out of the pocket, being chased, and now throws. It's juggled, and it's intercepted, but out of bounds. Fontenette caught it after it hit the hands of Ethan Davis, but he was out of play. Third down.
Boy, Nico moving to his right. He was buying time. Tries to hit his tight end coming across the middle. And it's just off the hands of Davis. And Fontenette, oh, he tries. Cannot get the foot in bounds.
Dante Thornton shaken up. He's gone to the locker room. Brew McCoy is injured, so Tennessee down 2 of its top receivers for a huge third down late in the half. Double clutch throw complete to the tight end Kitzelman. First down inside the 40. Clock will stop to reset the sticks at the 37 of Vandy.
Well, it's a really good route by Miles Kitzelman, just working the out.
Colby Taylor shaken up as he tried to make the tackle, so that'll stop the clock with 59 seconds left. As we go to the studio and check in with Kevin Negandhi.
Dave Campbell, 1 halftime report minutes away. Dan Orlovsky, Booger McFarland in studio, and Jeremiah Smith just scored here as Ohio State just tied up Michigan. We'll have highlights coming your way. Clemson as well as in action against South Carolina. What's changed for Tennessee so far?
The defense definitely has settled down, and they've made 2 big plays offensively. The question to win is, can they make another 1 or 2?
And if you're Vanderbilt, you can't give up the big play. You got to continue to run the football. Tennessee's only had the football for 9 minutes, and they got 17 points. Slow the tempo down just a little bit more.
I will slow the tempo down, too. Booger McFarland.
There we go.
Orlovsky.
I've been the same guy forever.
Back to you, Dave.
Kate Klubnik.
And Boog, 261 yards of offense. They almost have twice as many yards as Vanderbilt, despite having the ball much less than the Commodores here today.
It's been an explosive play day for this Tennessee offense. We've seen it multiple times in the throw game. Also, Dylan Sampson got a big 28-yard chunk run. That's what Vols fans have grown accustomed to seeing from this offense. And talking with this staff yesterday, they were worried about creating explosive plays off this Vanderbilt defense. They had not given up many of those throughout this season.
Take a look at this week's college football playoff rankings brought to you by Capital One. Ohio State is, you heard Kev, tied right now with Michigan, ranked 2nd. Notre Dame at USC Notre Dame can ill afford a loss to the Trojans with a bad loss earlier in the season. Miami and Syracuse on ESPN. Could that be a knockout game for the Canes? Maybe?
Don't sleep on the Cuse. If Miami loses that game, Clemson goes on to Charlotte to play SMU in the ACC Championship. How about the competitive football on this final weekend of the regular season? Doesn't get any better than what we've seen this year.
New set of downs for Tennessee inside the 40. They're going to keep it on the ground with Sampson. He gets stood up and pushed back by Rinaldi at the 31. And now a timeout called here by Josh Heupel. That will leave Tennessee with 2 and 48 seconds left. Now there's an injured Vanderbilt player. And it's Linus Zunk, junior from Berlin, Germany. But quickly hops to his feet to head to the Vanderbilt sideline. Well, earlier in the game, Max Gilbert made a 50-yard field goal. So basically from this spot, you mentioned it appropriately at the time, that 50 is right on the edge of his range. It hit at the top of the crossbar and bounced over good. And that right now is the difference in the game.
A game of inches, Dave Pash. And if that would have been a few more inches back, don't know if Gilbert would have had the distance. I can assure you, though, Tennessee not thinking about 3. They're thinking about how to go in and score a touchdown. Put an exclamation point before they go into half. And they get the ball coming out of half as well.
Right, because Vandy had the opening kickoff and returned it for a touchdown. 97% chance Tennessee's in. If the Vols win the game, it drops to a 9% chance with a loss. Vanderbilt trying to end a 5-game losing streak in this series. Vandy's going to go to a bowl game for the first time since 2018. The last time they had a winning regular season, James Franklin was the coach. They won 9 games in 2013. They're 6-5 this year, 3-4 in league play with a win over Alabama. A close loss at home against Texas. They beat Auburn on the road for the first time. In danger of watching their lead disappear here late in the first half with Nico back to throw. Now on the move, throws it downfield, and it's incomplete behind Sampson.
What's good coverage down the field. Nico knew somebody had to come open. Tries to hit his running back out of the backfield. Hastone just a little bit behind him. Fontenette and Sampson going at it out there.
And this is interesting. The officials have to tell Andre Karch he's got to leave the game. His helmet came off. He tried to stay on the field. The officials had to go grab him to get him off the field. And now Jackson Lampley, who actually started last week at right guard, he comes in for this critical 3rd down and 4. Got to come out for one play in college football when you lose your helmet unless there's a defensive penalty because of that.
Miles Kitzelman in the slot.
Nico back to throw and guns it complete to the 20-yard line for a first down to Brazel. Clock will stop to reset the chains with 34 seconds to go.
A really good job outside Brazel working back to the football and a big first down.
Boy, Nico's had a tremendous quarter throwing the ball. Josh Heupel going to call a timeout. Didn't look to be thrilled with maybe the decision-making of the redshirt freshman quarterback.
No, I think Nico was a little bit confused on exactly how much time was on the clock. He wanted him to operate quickly, and as soon as he saw Nico start to change the play at the line of scrimmage, he quickly calls a timeout.
So 1 timeout left, and they'll put a second back on the clock. 29 seconds left. Heupel's reaction as Nico was taking his time there, and so he said, you know, let's just call the timeout here. We got 1 left. In this quarter, Iamaleava has thrown for 133 yards. And the coaches said, look, going into Arkansas on the road, his first SEC road game, struggled a bit, but then really played well early against Georgia on the road. Hard to really say this is a road game. I mean, yeah, technically it is, but when the stands are 80 to 85% full of Volunteer fans, the walls are not coming down on you like they are in some other SEC venues.
No doubt. A little bit different. And Nico, Joey Halsey told us, Nico all week had a great mentality, knows what this team is on the brink of, and he wants to be the reason that they're able to make the college football playoff. An outstanding quarter getting his team back in the ballgame.
Play action, setting up, and lobbing it into the end zone. Kitzel, and it just pulls it in for the Tennessee go-ahead touchdown. Another dime from Iamaleava here in the quarter. And flags come in, extracurricular activity. Nico jawing with Colby Taylor. A 10-play, 96-yard drive that took just over 2 minutes time.
And Nico with excellent touch on this football. Put it high. Let your talented tight end go up and get it and bring it in. What a drive put together by Nico Iamaleava.
Result of the play is a touchdown. After the play, personal foul, defense number 6. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. It'll be a try for a point.
Okay, that's Colby Taylor, who he mentioned was getting into it with Nico, who was 5 of 7 for 57 yards passing on that drive and a touchdown. He's got 3 first-half passing touchdowns. Remember last week against UTEP, got off to a slow start. He had 3 touchdowns in the second quarter of that game. The balls ended up blowing out UTEP. Extra point makes it 24-17 Volunteers.
Well, it's been the story of the day for this passing attack. The play-action pass and getting these safeties to bite. And once again, you're going to see Wright come up, and you're going to see Kitzelman just get vertical right in the middle of the field. And it's a perfectly placed ball once again by Nico Iamaleava. As these safeties continue to be aggressive, come downhill and help in run support, it is opening up the middle of the field for this passing attack. Now the 3rd touchdown pass of the game off of play action for Nico.
Tennessee storms back from trailing by 14 points less than 5 minutes into the game to take a 7-point lead with 22 seconds remaining. They lead the country in percentage of plays off play action, and Nico has not had a lot of bodies at his feet. He's had a clean pocket. Even when receivers have been covered, he's created extra time and found receivers downfield. Rather than kick it to Sherrill, who's got a kickoff return for a touchdown, they just boot it through the end zone into the construction. Almost hit a couple construction workers back there. Well, this season, Allstate will celebrate every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by making a donation to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, Allstate. Well, it's got to be the mindset right now of Vanderbilt blowing the lead.
Well, they're on the ropes right now, and I would imagine 22 seconds left. They're just going to take this into half, regroup, and try to come out with some energy the way that they started this football game, because they came out and threw a couple of haymakers, Dave. They take a 14-0 lead, and it's a testament to Tennessee to be able to absorb those blows and bounce back and go into halftime with the lead. Ton of momentum for the Vols, and we'll see what Clark Lee's message is and if he can get his football team to respond coming out in the second half.
Vols end the half on a 24-3 run. Win, and they're likely in the college football playoff for the first time. Tennessee will get the ball to start the second half. Now Vanderbilt lost 2 straight in 3 of 4. But maybe it was running out of gas. Great start, but not a great finish. And let's check in with Taylor.
Coach, after getting down 14-0, what was the key to battling back and now going into halftime with the lead?
And just some simple things, man. Like, you got to take care of the football. Kickoff coverage, had a guy run out of his lane. We play smart football. We got to play penalty free here in the second half and go take it.
Thank you, Coach. Dave?
24-17, they lead at halftime. On the other side of the break, it's the Capital One Halftime Report with Kevin, Boog, and Dan. This presentation of the SEC on ABC will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Welcome back to the SEC on ABC, presented by Tums Gummy Bites. A potential play-in game for Tennessee. The Vols up 7 in Nashville against Vanderbilt 24-17 despite trailing 14-0 less than 5 minutes into the game. Our Sonic drive-in recap, it was 7-0 about 15 seconds into the game.
The doors were on fire with this Sherrill 100-yard kick return for touchdown. Good blocking and excellent speed in the open field. But the one thing Vanderbilt could not do was slow down Nico Iamaleava off the play-action pass. These safeties flying downhill, trying to limit Dylan Sampson, opened up some big-time space in the middle of the field, and Nico Iamaleava made them pay. The first touchdown pass to Thornton, this one to the tight end Kitzelman before half. 3 touchdowns in total in that first half for the fantastic freshman Nico Iamaleava.
Tennessee will get the ball to start the second half. Temperature around 40 degrees. Feels certainly colder now than it did at kickoff when it was sunny. Overcast now in Nashville. And this will be a touchback. We'll come out to the 25. Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak in the booth, Taylor McCrager down on the field. And boy, if you're Tennessee thinking playoff with a win, this is the way you want your quarterback performing.
Absolutely. At his best, really this entire Tennessee offense. Explosive plays were the name of the game. They could establish Dylan Sampson and set up the play action pass. And the confidence that Nico played with that first half, as good as I've seen in all of SEC play.
5 touchdown passes in conference games all season until today. 3 in the first half. He had 3 in the first half last week against UTEP. 9-2 record. Trying to get to win number 10 as Sampson is upended after a gain of 6. Here's Taylor.
We have to get pressure on Nico Iamaleava. That is what Clark Lee made very clear to me at half. And then he said, when we rush 3, we have to be better in zone spacing, specifically on third down, he mentioned. But he said the message to his team is, let's go win this game. And they really want to rely on the leadership of Diego Pavia in these moments, guys.
It's a really good point, you know, that Taylor brings up. And Clark Lee mentioned to her, they've got no pressure on Nico, and they've done a great job operating, but they're going to have to, when they go play action pass, find a way to get Nico uncomfortable in this second half. If he has all day, it's going to be tough for the back end to hold up against the speed Tennessee presents at wide receiver.
Well, first down on the 36. And Nico going to keep it here off the left edge. First down and more. Banged out of bounds at the 48 by C.J. Taylor. Gain of 12.
Well, Nick Rinaldi's going to work inside, and it's going to allow Nico to get to the edge. Linebacker works in. Nico identifies it, and a nice pickup.
Now off play action, the pass is batted down, incomplete. And there was a receiver open downfield. So at least they got hands up that time. Mike Matthews was the intended target.
Well, C.J. Taylor coming down from his safety position, gets right in the throwing lane, gets his right hand on the football.
Because Iamaleava's been dealing. Great second quarter. For the redshirt freshman, playing just his 4th road game, a record of 1-2 away from Knoxville. He's engineered 3 come-from-behind wins for the Vols. Deshaun Bishop gets close to a first down. Gain of 9. That'll be 3rd and 1.
Well, excellent job by Courage, Lance Hurd, both pulling on the counter, paving a big path for Bishop on that run.
And can the home team get a stop? Vanderbilt has not been able to slow down this offense for Tennessee much here today. They've got 333 yards, and they've had the ball for about 11 total minutes. They bring some pressure on 3rd and short, and Bishop over the top. First down to the 40.
With Lance Hurd off the left side, caving down that side, helping allow Bishop to get just enough to move the chains. And you asked the right question, Dave. Can Vanderbilt get a stop? This defense has been good for Clark Lee throughout the course of the season. They have no answers right now for this Tennessee offense.
And they're near the bottom nationally in terms of 3rd down defense. Here's Bishop again. That's a good start to the drive as Bishop is thrown down by Longwell after a gain of maybe 2.
Well, Brian Longwell really jumped off the tape when I was looking at this Vanderbilt defense. Downhill immediately at a nice play right around the line of scrimmage. Aggressive from the sophomore linebacker out of Nashville.
Tennessee will not play next week in Atlanta, so if they can win the day, for all intents and purposes, they'd be in the playoff with 3 weeks to get ready for their first-round game, which could be at home. Nico rolling out, pressure on him, gets away from one man and now takes off at the 35, heading for the sticks, and stretches out to get the first down before Nick Rinaldi gets him out of play.
Well, Sidnor did a good job getting pressure initially, but Nico Imaliava really good feeling this pressure and being able to escape, and the speed in the open field as he reversed fields. Moving at a different pace. Nice job avoiding the pressure. An excellent job picking up a first down.
There's a comfort level with Nico right now that we're seeing that we saw in stretches, but maybe not this long. Imaliava again on the move, picking up positive yardage and running out of the 24. Let's check in with Taylor.
This Tennessee offense a little banged up. Receiver Dante Thornton Jr., who we mentioned earlier in the game dealing with an injury, he is now out for the rest of the game with an injury, as well as running back Peyton Lewis. You will not see either of them in the second half, guys.
Oh, that's big with Thornton already getting 2 touchdown catches in the game, and Brew McCoy hurt in pregame. We haven't seen him, and now Peyton Lewis is well done. Here's Bishop, tripped up by Patterson and tackled for a loss of 1 on the play, bringing up third down.
But Langston Patterson shooting this gap, and he just gets a shoestring, but it's all that he needs to create this tackle for loss. Get his defense in a position to potentially get off the field.
Feels like a must-stop right now for Vanderbilt. All the momentum in the favor of the Volunteers.
Can they create any pressure? Can Clark Lee's defense get Nico uncomfortable?
And some movement on the right side of the line by Tennessee. Again, Brian Longwell of the defense inched towards the neutral zone. Did he cause Tennessee?
Offside.
Yep, he did.
Defense number 4 in the neutral zone, causing a reaction. 5-yard penalty, third down.
He's done that a few times. He got busted for it now.
Yeah, I think Langston Patterson might be the culprit on this one, Dave. Hard count once again by Nico.
Both of them certainly moved towards the line of scrimmage and caused movement by Tennessee. And now it'll be 3rd and 1 instead of 3rd and 6. And Vanderbilt does not hurt itself at all. The Commodores on the year lead the conference in terms of fewest penalties. And that was big right there. Tennessee just going to keep it on the ground as Bishop lunges close to the first down.
Big collision at the line of scrimmage. Patterson coming downhill. Where are they going to mark this? It's going to be really close.
Official timeout. And they do signal it's a first down for Tennessee.
Good to see Deshaun Bishop back. He'd been banged up earlier this season. And with Peyton Lewis out, Dylan Sampson been getting a little bit of a rest here. He's really stepped in, running the ball, physicality, done a good job in pass protection, picking up blitzing linebackers. Really nice job by the redshirt freshman.
Tennessee trying to go up 2 scores, outscoring Vanderbilt 24-3 since the 10-minute mark of the opening quarter. Timeout called by Tennessee. Heupel having to burn one here early in the 3rd. Taco Bell Live Más student section. All season long student sections across the country competing to be the Taco Bell Live Más student section of the year. Download the Taco Bell app to learn more. About 80-20 in terms of Tennessee fans here on the road in Nashville, and the Volunteers looking to add to a 7-point lead. Bishop inside the 15, down to the 14, getting a lot of snaps here for Dylan Sampson as they enter the red zone.
And good push off the left side. Left side of this offensive line, a lot of success, point of attack, and as pullers here on this drive for Tennessee.
And how about this drive's almost as long as they had the ball the entire first half. Nico pulls it back, fires over the middle, caught, touchdown. And it's true freshman Mike Matthews. A big score for the Vols. Nico Iamaleava had 5 touchdown passes in league games all season. He has 4 here today. And playing great football right now. Tremendous command of the Volunteer offense. Not a great snap, but the ball down and the kick good to make it 31-17.
And it's once again the running game of Tennessee sets up the play action pass. Multiple tight ends in the backfield. So the safety comes down. What's that mean? Middle of the field's open. And it's an easy touchdown for Tennessee once again. You get those safeties down, you get them to load the box to stop the run. It allows Nico the opportunity for a big day here in Music City.
ABC College Football, presented by Tums Gummy Bites, is brought to you by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
The Gaylord Opryland's 41st, A Country Christmas, featuring ice, their signature attraction. The entire exhibit is handcrafted out of solid ice. And right now is Clark Lee's team offensively very cold. They have done nothing for the most part since they scored 2 touchdowns 5 minutes into the game. And Tennessee now leads 31-17. Here's Sherrill, who had a kick return for a touchdown to start the game. And there he goes again, past the 40. A flag down, though. Sherrill pushed out of bounds in midfield, but one would assume that this will come back.
Here's the return holding, return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down after enforcement.
Well, it's the way the game started for Vanderbilt. Junior Sherrill with that kick return for a touchdown. Felt like maybe some more magic. But the big return gets negated with the hold in the middle of the field. He got 16 Cole Spence. As Sherrill made his cut, looked like he had a hold of that Tennessee defender.
Speaking of magic, Diego Pavia, the quarterback for Vanderbilt, has had some incredible moments. Beat Alabama, hung with Texas. They need some great plays from Pavia down the stretch. And with all momentum in favor of Tennessee, they could really use it in this drive. But it starts on their 15-yard line. Pavia handing it off to Cedric Alexander, and a gain of 3. That game against Alabama, Pavia had 20 rushes in that game, but he was excellent throwing the ball. 252 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. First win over a top 5 team, so obviously first win over a number 1. On the year, he's leading the conference in rushing yards by a quarterback. And for Pavia, perhaps playing his final home game as a member of the Commodores, transfer from New Mexico State, where he was the Conference USA Player of the Year. It feels like it's now or never, and the numbers not great through the air. Pavia keeping it here, trying to get the edge. Dragged down by McCoy, but a penalty marker down on the takedown.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle, defense number 3. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run, includes an automatic first down.
Jermont McCoy coming up from his corner spot, did a good job keeping the edge, but gets that right hand, he slides down. It's tough to tell from that angle, but Draws a flag for the horse collar. Couldn't tell if he got inside the framework of the shoulder pads or not, but clearly enough for an official to throw a flag.
And it's what Vanderbilt needed, a first down via penalty. Give them some breathing room and get the ball at their 35-yard line just to keep from putting the ball back in Nico's hands. We talked about time of possession, big time favoring Vanderbilt early, but Tennessee's had the ball except for a Vanderbilt kneel down since the 2-minute mark of the second quarter. Pavia lowers the boom on Will Brooks. And Pavia down, but how about the quarterback showing no fear there?
Well, he's definitely fearless, but he might want to be careful because they needed to finish this game as Will Brooks comes down from his safety position. Pavia.
As a D lineman, you got to love it when your quarterback does something like that, right?
I absolutely love it. He's been doing stuff like that all season. They just need him to be healthy and make it to the end of the game. And they were in a 4 tight end set there as they are continuing to keep this on the ground with this offense.
Penalty marker down, might be a free play. The pass off the mark intended for Hoskins. See what the flag's about. I guess my point of the hit was they needed something to inspire them at this point. Maybe that will suffice, because feels like Vanderbilt's run out of gas here today.
No doubt. When your quarterback's playing
illegal
like
formation, offense with 5 players in the backfield. The penalty is declined. Result of play is 3rd down.
Quarterback's playing like that, flying around, leaving it on the field. There's no doubt. It's definitely inspirational, which he's been for this team all season. And your 3rd and long situation is Vanderbilt scrambling to get lined up.
Pavia climbing the pocket, dumping it off, and an immediate tackle about 8 yards short of the line to gain. Skinner dragged down by McCoy. And for the moment, Pavia is staying on the field.
But Jamad McCoy really good in coverage on Skinner. And the pressure got there quick to force that pass. And it was James Pierce Jr. I think there's no doubt, Dave, you got to punt the ball here at this point.
Too much time left.
Too much time left. It's 4th and long. You really, that's not where this offense thrives. I think that Clark Lee, though he recognizes putting his defense back on the field is an opportunity, he's got to punt the ball.
1 for 7 on 3rd down since a 3 for 3 start. And that bounces sideways and starts to roll downhill. Now, Tennessee will have it around its 19-yard line, but the ball's up 31-17. Kalen DeVore arriving for his first Iron Bowl as the head coach at Alabama. The Crimson Tide holding on to slim hopes of making the college football playoff as a 3-loss team right now. The All-State playoff predictor has them with a 24% chance. Georgia, great game last night, an 8 overtime, survived. They can get the automatic bid with a win against either Texas or Texas A&M next week in the SEC championship game. Texas plays A&M tonight. Again, Texas, the only 1-loss teams in terms of overall losses in the SEC. Dylan Sampson on 1st down as Tennessee trying to take some time off the clock. It's about 3 yards.
Good to see Dylan Sampson back out there. We saw a heavy dose of Deshaun Bishop for the bulk of that last possession. What an unbelievable season it's been for Dylan Sampson. 22 touchdowns on the year. One of the best running backs in all of college football. We've seen some of that explosiveness on display here.
Iamale able to throw off play action, now dumping it off across the middle. Close to the 1st down is Ethan Davis. He's just short, 3rd and 1.
Which is no pressure on Nico. He's got all day back there, Dave, to sit, survey the field. Doesn't take the shot down, just takes the check down. A nice pickup.
1st down, Sampson ripping through an arm tackle. And Dylan Sampson, 9 100-yard games this year, the most at Tennessee in 30 years. It's shocking he did not be named a finalist for the Doak Walker Award.
How about the jump cut, the spin? So tough to tackle. Dylan Sampson, nice piece of running on 3rd and short.
Not that there weren't good backs that were named finalists, but when you set a school record with all the great running backs they've had at Tennessee, he had 22 touchdowns on the year as that pass is caught by Matthews for a first down. A lot of people outside of Knoxville were really surprised that Sampson was left off.
I was one of them. I was shocked that he wasn't a finalist. I think everyone agrees Ashton Genty likely going to take home that hardware. The Boise State running back has been fabulous. And obviously Caleb Johnson at Iowa's had a great year. Amari Hampton in North Carolina, your other two finalists. Those are good running backs. But what Dylan Sampson has done here in the SEC for Tennessee this year, it warranted a finalist spot for the running back of the year.
Nico off play action, throws complete again to Matthews. Good ankle tackle at the 48-yard line by Height. But we're not seeing any negative plays at all. No pressure on the quarterback, no tackles at the line of scrimmage. And Tennessee totally controlling this game as well offensively as they have played in a while. Didn't start that way. They trailed 14-0 5 minutes into the game. Sampson, first down. Gain of 9 to the Vandy 39.
Tight end, such a key piece of this rushing attack. It's Kitzelman, it stays, and a nice hole for Sampson.
So Sampson over 100 yards for the 10th time this season. Most since 95 for the Vols. Does not have a rushing touchdown today. He's got one in 11 straight games. That's a school record as well. They haven't needed it because of the passing of Iamaleava and another throw on target to Caleb Webb. They're really down on the depth chart now because of all the injuries at that position. Gain of about 4.
Just pick your poison with Tennessee right now. Explosive plays, running game, short passing game, everything working for Josh Heupel and Nico Iamaleava operating this offense at such a high level right now. Basically, whatever the defense wants to do, Tennessee's got an answer for it.
Webb with just his 5th catch of the season. Matthews touchdown catch earlier, and now running out of bounds that time was Caleb Webb. Saw the field judge with his hat off, and it didn't look like Webb was pushed out, just went out on his own. And now it's a must stop here for Vanderbilt on 3rd and 6.
Can they get a stop on 3rd down? Tennessee been so good today, 6 of 8 on 3rd down. And the real question is, can they generate a pass rush? Can they put any pressure whatsoever on Nico, as he's had seemingly all day to stand back there and pick this secondary apart?
Ball batted down by Longwell, trying to set up the screen to Squirrel White. See if Josh Heupel goes for it on 4th and 6.
With Brian Longwell, we've seen him a lot. He comes right off the edge, gets his hand up, and a good stop on 3rd down, but it's going to keep this Tennessee offense on the field. Remember, we told you earlier, 50 was about the edge of what they could kick, and Max Gilbert, so an easy decision for Josh Heupel here to keep his offense on the field. Kitzelman up here in the slot.
Maybe just trying to draw Vanderbilt offside. Play clock at 1. And a flag. I'm not sure Josh Heupel called timeout before the penalty marker. Flag's down, and it wasn't picked up. A little surprised Heupel didn't use a timeout there, because now you're out of field goal range for sure.
5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
Well, if he took this, it's clear he's going to punt the football.
I don't know. You got a chance to put the game away if you convert it, though.
I agree. I thought he would have gone for it, but when he takes the delay a game, he was clearly going to go for a hard count that's worked several times today. And I guess he looks at the way his defense has played as of late, pin them back, and punt on the football. I'm surprised, though. We typically see them go for the juggler in that spot for this Tennessee team.
First punt of the day for Tennessee. Jackson Ross back at his 45. Ross giving his gunner some time to get down there before he released the kick, and it checks up at the 1. What a punt. That landed just inches from the goal line and stuck.
You were a state champion golfer, Dave Pasch. I've seen you swing. Look like is that your 56 degree or was it a 60 degree use there?
We didn't have those back when I played.
Look, how about that punt, though? Wow.
Perfect.
Little check on that, come back.
So good decision to punt is what you're saying rather than going for it on 4th and 6.
I think it worked out just fine for Josh Heupel, and this defense of Tennessee has been dialed in, and it's been tough for Vanderbilt to muster up anything really since the first quarter of this ball game.
Just 35 passing yards for Pavia. The last 4 possessions for Vanderbilt, only 3 first downs, and now the quarterback standing in his end zone. Alexander trying to find a hole. It's not there. Pushed back by Josephs. No gain on the play.
You touched on earlier, Joshua Josephs, man, he has had such an impactful year. Watch him come down and just nowhere to run the football. Gets down inside, gets square, plays off the block, creates that tackle right at the line of scrimmage. You know, he was challenged by Tim Banks, his defensive coordinator, to really step up as a run stopper. He's taken the challenge. He's been great all season for this Tennessee defensive line.
Ball stack in the box again. And in trouble at the goal line. Did Alexander get out? It's a safety. He did not get the ball entirely out of the end zone. 2 points for Tennessee. Tyree West with the takedown.
Well, this defense creates as many tackles for loss as just about anybody. We take a look at it from the pylon cam. And here's Tyree West. He's getting up the field, creating the negative play. I may take a look at this, Dave. Right. It looked like the ball.
It's the opposite of when you're going into the end zone, where it's just the plane. If the entire ball is out, then it's not a safety. Let's bring in Bill Lamagna. Did you see what the officials on the field saw there, a safety?
That goal line shot looks to me like he's got the entire ball outside in the field of play and gets pulled back into the end zone. I'd like to see this ball put back at 2-inch line, 5-inch line, whatever.
Well, they're going to review it.
Tyree West gets vertical, gets up the field. You see as he grabs Alexander. Tough to tell from that angle. Ball was in his right hand.
Do you have enough video evidence beyond all doubt
right here
to say that he got it out? That's the other thing, is do you have enough video evidence to prove it otherwise? I'd be surprised just looking at that if they overturn it, but I agree with what Bill said. We think he's out, but thinking at this point doesn't change the call. It's got to have proof. Beyond all doubt, and I'm not sure you got it from what we've seen.
Tennessee 7th in the country in tackles for loss coming into today with 88. It's been a staple of Tim Banks' defense the last 4 years. We see once again the penetration by Tyree West as he slings Alexander to the ground. And
you mentioned Tim Banks, 3-time Broyles Award nominee. He's been at some really good places. Would imagine he's had interviews for head coaching jobs, and just based on this being one of the best defenses in the country and just how depleted they were during the end of the Jeremy Pruitt era and the beginning of the Josh Heupel era, because he had to clean up the mess that was here. Wonder if Tim Banks will get some love this offseason for head coaching jobs.
He should be looked at and he should be talked about. He's done a fabulous job as a defensive coordinator for Tennessee. Every year they've continually gotten better and better, and this year one of the best in all
video
college
review,
football.
the ruling on the field stands. Safety.
There you go. Just not enough video evidence to say otherwise. That's a huge 2 points, and plus Tennessee gets the ball now.
And that's exactly what Josh Heupel was thinking when he decided to punt the football.
Yeah.
By the way this defense is playing, I mean, David, they've completely taken Diego Pavia in this offense out of any type of sink they might have had early in this ball game. As the Tennessee defense today, a couple of sacks, some negative plays, a pick, an interception, and they have been excellent on third down. In this game, Vandy started 3 of 3 on third down, 1 of 7 since then.
You can kick or punt. They elect to punt there, and it's not a good punt. It goes out of bounds around the 35, and that's where Tennessee will operate late in the third. Got a flag flying in. Tuesday night, we'll have the exclusive reveal of the next college football playoff top 25 rankings. Reese and the guys breaking it down from top to bottom. 12 teams make it. Top 4 highest ranked conference champions get byes. Right now, Tennessee is number 8. First round matchup at Georgia, according to the rankings, and obviously Tennessee hoping that changes and that eventually they end up with a home first round game. All the first round games are played on campus 3 weeks from today.
It's like Christmas come early for college football fans. Home playoff game's going to be incredible. We were just in Knoxville a couple weeks ago. Again, 16 minutes left in this game. You don't get too far ahead of yourself, but if they can hold on, can you imagine that scene in Knoxville, Tennessee for a home game, playoff game?
You're going to have one Friday night game and then 2 afternoon games on Saturday and a Saturday night game. Here's Bishop getting the carry into Vanderbilt territory to the 44. And look, all of those environments will be great, but obviously certain places are better at night, and so just be really curious to see how that all plays out, who plays when, who eventually gets the home games, what teams get byes, and can the Big 12 make up some ground? Boise won yesterday, so they have the inside track at one of the top 4 conference champion byes. Then those quarterfinal games are on neutral sites as Brazel makes the catch right at the first down marker.
And it was also noteworthy for the Big 12, Tulane losing on Thursday. You got to believe Brett Yormark, the Big 12, very excited about what they saw transpire there. Tulane was gaining ground on the highest ranked Big 12 team, because remember, no conferences are guaranteed anything. It's the 5 highest ranked conference champions to get the automatic qualifiers for this year's playoff.
And Tulane was only 1 spot back of Arizona State, the Big 12 leader, prior to that loss. So you'd have to think at this point the Big 12 will get one of those 5 spots. Tennessee certainly looks like it's going to get one of the 12 playoff spots. This presentation of the SEC on ABC will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. You're watching the SEC on ABC, presented by Tums Gummy Bites. From Nashville, Tennessee, you're watching Fairfield by Marriott Rivalry Week. Tennessee has won the last 5 in this series, trailed 14-0 early in the game, but now on a roll. 33-17, starting the 4th quarter with a 3rd and 1. Keeping it on the ground and getting it easily with Bishop down to the 30. And moments ago, Taylor with Clark lead the Vanderbilt coach.
Coach, with a quarter left, what will it take for your team to win?
Well, stop, first of all. I mean, obviously, we just, the momentum shifted on us, and we're having trouble getting it back. Obviously, the safety was a big play. So we got to go make a play here. It starts with a stop for us, and then get the ball back to our offense. Let's go score, and let's make this a tight game. We got to play with a little spirit here.
Thank you. Dave?
Yeah, Taylor, this is very unlike Vanderbilt this year. Win against Alabama, Virginia Tech, lost by 3 against Texas, double overtime loss to Missouri, not blown out by anybody. As Nico Iamaleava throwing it into the end zone here, and it is incomplete. It came out at the last second when Matthews hit the ground. In coverage, Colby Taylor already got flagged once. There's a penalty marker down in the backfield here.
Well, boy, this pass was put in a good spot. Matthews, little push off, unable to bring that in as he goes to his back. Nico continuing to take shots down the field.
And again, some jawing, too, from Colby Taylor.
Downfield, offense, number 63. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
So Cooper Mays, a rare mental mistake from him there.
What's just tough, man, when you run some of these RPOs, the offensive line doesn't always know, is it run, is it pass? Quarterback's making that decision, and Cooper Mays just caught in a bad spot down the field.
So that's a feel thing, right? You're just kind of sensing what's going on there if you're Cooper Mays?
Yes. I mean, look, you're blocking run initially, and, you know, just it's up to the quarterback. He's going to make that determination on the fly. If he's going to throw the football, he's going to give it.
Give it here to Sampson. And Sampson powering through tackles to get the 5 yards back to the 30. Again, Tennessee milking the clock. Vanderbilt has just 61 yards of offense since the first quarter when it hit 88 yards. Sampson had an early fumble that Vandy turned into a touchdown, but now he's got over 100 yards.
We're seeing now Tennessee slowing this game way down. They actually had a muddle huddle a second ago and taking their foot off the accelerator.
Nico, another dart. Brazel stepping out close to a first down. Boy, if you're Tennessee, you're the coaching staff and you're the fan base, the way Nico Iamaleava is throwing the football right now, it's got to give you a great hope potentially going to the playoff.
Excellent confidence. The balance this offense has right now, throwing for 258, running for 191. Obviously, the way this defense has played all season long, this is exactly what Vols fans have been hoping and waiting to see in SEC play, a performance like this from Nico.
Don't underestimate, too, the play in the cold weather. He probably has not played in an environment where it's this chilly, temperatures around 40, knowing what's probably ahead in a few weeks, potentially. I mean, what if you get a road game in a Big Ten city as Sampson close to a first down? You might get a home game, but what if you're at Indiana or at Penn State in the first round, and now you got a guy from California playing in maybe a blizzard?
What was it, a kick today? Around 30?
Yeah.
You had your mittens on. You were all bundled up. You were ready.
Still do.
For the cold weather. I mean, if it's below 50, I mean, you're cold, Pash. I mean, geez. But you're exactly right, though. That's the elements, South teams having to go up north potentially in the cold. It's going to be a big factor and something we really haven't seen. That's going to be so much fun to get a chance to see how that unfolds once this playoff happens.
Nico, redshirt freshman from Long Beach. His brother Madden is a top high school quarterback prospect and is headed to UCLA. Sampson to the 12. Let's check in with Taylor.
I'll tell you who wants no talk of the cold weather, and that is Tennessee head coach Josh Heupel. He's from South Dakota, so this is the weather he grew up playing in. In fact, much colder than it is here today. He talked about it with us in his meetings this week, and then he honed it in on my call with him this morning, and he just said, I have no time to talk about the cold weather. It's going to be just fine.
This is shorts and sandals weather for the folks in Aberdeen, South Dakota. Josh Heupel not worried about this at all.
There were some cold games in Norman when he was the quarterback there, going to a national championship.
Won a Big 12 in Kansas City when it was very cold.
Sampson again, trying to keep that streak alive of rushing touchdowns and make it 12 in a row. Pushed back by C.J. Taylor at the 9-yard line.
This physical piece of running by Dylan Sampson. This offensive line been getting some really good push here in the second half, coming off the football. I'll expect more of the same here. Stays as well as Kitzelman in this little muddle huddle for Tennessee. Be surprised if we don't see him keep it on the ground here with Dylan Sampson. And to your point, Dave, doesn't it feel like they'd love to see their running back find the end zone once more?
Play 9 of the drive, taking about 5.5 minutes off the clock. And Sampson's second effort got the first down to the 7. They could take more time off the clock. 10 minutes away from win number 10 would be the second 10-win season in the last 3 years for Tennessee. Third consecutive 9-win season has already been wrapped up. First time at Tennessee since 95 to 99. And look at that under Josh Heupel when they rushed for 200 or more.
That's the thing. Whenever he came in, I think a lot of people thought, throw the ball around, air raid. It is a physical smash mouth brand of football. They're going to spread you thin, but they want to run the rock. And they really hang their hat on that here with Tennessee. And when they get to 200, they win.
Here's Sampson, the crowd sensing it. They want him to get into the end zone. Again, mostly Tennessee fans here today in Nashville. He's down at the 3. Would imagine he'll get another carry here.
Can't say enough good things about Dylan Sampson. As you referenced, boy, it is a heavy volunteer crowd here at Vanderbilt. But he added 12 pounds in the offseason, Dave. He knew that his workload was going to go up. He knew that there was a chance, a longer season. More would be on his plate. More would be asked of him as a running back. He prepared his body, got ready to go, and has really been the bell cow for this offense and this football team.
6th in the country in carries. This is number 251 and will not result in a touchdown on 2nd and goal. Tackled by Sidnor. 3rd and goal coming up.
Nice job by Sidnor. Making a play, getting off a block. Vanderbilt going to try to bow their necks and keep Tennessee out of this end zone.
I mean, if somehow you would think Tennessee would kick a field goal, but if they decide to go for it, you can get a stop. It's still a 2-score game. If you're Vanderbilt. Probably a reason why, if they don't get it, that Josh Heupel would kick the field goal. It certainly doesn't feel like Vanderbilt's capable at this point of scoring 16 points, the way their offense has looked since the first quarter. Nico to throw, passing complete. So 4th and goal. And Heupel realizing with the field goal, you kick the field goal.
You go up.
Game's over pretty much.
You go up 3 scores with 8.5 minutes to go. I know they would love to tack another touchdown. You know, would have worked out perfectly for them to get Dylan Sampson in the end zone, keep that streak alive, but you don't mess around here. Football is weird. We saw last night, you know, Georgia with that comeback, and not that Vanderbilt has shown any sign of that, but don't overthink this. Take the points and take the 3-score lead.
22-yard attempt for Gilbert. Since Vanderbilt led 14-0, 5 minutes into the game, Tennessee has now outscored the Commodores 36-3. Ryan Williams leads Alabama against Auburn. Another chapter of the Iron Bowl coming up next year on ABC. And Alabama, depending on what happens, maybe at the shoe right now, could be very much alive, and they still are as it is, but certainly would help their cause if Michigan can knock off Ohio State. A&M and Texas tonight on ABC. Winner goes to the SEC championship game to play Georgia next week on ABC.
What a day. What a day. Oklahoma LSU is interesting tonight in Tiger Stadium as well.
Interesting for some people, and doesn't impact the playoff as Gillespie returns it past the 35. But if somehow Michigan, which is in a goal to go right now against Ohio State, if they win that game, you got to think the Buckeyes still get in, but then they lose a home game. And they have to play on the road in the first round, and that could help some teams in front of them. Notre Dame's got USC up next. And again, you got the top 4 highest-ranked conference champs that get byes. They don't play in the first round on campus. They would play on traditional bowl sites, neutral site games.
And this obviously was based off of Tuesday night's College Football Playoff Committee's rankings. That's sure to change as these games continue to unfold. Just so much intrigue around this playoff and so much still at stake here today.
Diego Pavia back to throw with his team down 19, and he's sacked back at the 17 by Jackson Moy, or at the 27-yard line rather.
Well, this defensive line, it's been so good all year, and Jackson Moy, just part of the rotation, just going to get good push. The coverage down the field sets this up as Diego Pavia realizes nobody's open, tries to break the pocket, and Moy takes him to the ground.
Movement from everybody except the center and quarterback is James Pierce starting to lick his chops right now.
You see that?
Oh, yeah.
Offside. Defense number 27 causing a reaction. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
He wants some numbers right now.
James Pierce, he smells blood in the water, and he's coming. I think he's the best pass rusher in college football. Got the #1 pressure rate in the country. He had 2 sacks on that same move a week ago against UTEP. Working up the field with that speed, forces those tackles to kick, then he'll work back inside. He's chomping at the bit to try to get after Diego Pavia.
Tennessee trying to, for all intents and purposes, clinch a spot of the college football playoff. 7 minutes away from doing that, and maybe still a home game in store in the first round. Pavia, a long throw caught for a first down by Sherrill, who had a lot of Vols fans nervous when he returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Vanderbilt was up 14-0 5 minutes in, but it's been all Tennessee since.
When Diego Pavia got clobbered by Dominic Bailey as he released that pass, good catch and a first down from Sherrill.
Pavia drilled again, completes it. Fungi first down inside the 30. And out of bounds at about the 26. Pavia hobbling a bit. Man, he's getting lit up. Joseph's got him that time.
Joseph, as you mentioned, gets the shot on Pavia. Back-to-back plays. And then it's Norman Lott that drives him into the ground. Leave it all on the field, though. Now Tennessee sitting back, playing soft.
Penalty flag down, pre-snap foul.
Prior to the snap, false start offense. Not all 11 players got set.
But Diego Pavia was beat up and banged up coming into today. But he's taken some shots. He's delivered some shots. He's taken some shots. And that's the Pavia way. Delivered that on Will Brooks. And here late, he's taken a couple of big hits. These Tennessee defenders.
That from Boo Carter. He's hoping this isn't his final home game. He's suing the NCAA over eligibility as a JUCO transfer, seeking 2 more seasons. Tough way to end the year for Pavia and Vanderbilt, given the season they've had. Although Pavia with a dime here to Hoskins for the touchdown. Vanderbilt will go for 2. 1 or 2. It's still a 2-possession game. And do they have enough time on the clock to get 2 more possessions?
Quick strike touchdown. Exactly what Vanderbilt needed to do.
Go for Dos, brought to you by Dos Equis. This would make it 36-25. He faked the jet sweep. Everybody covered. Pavia just throwing a jump ball. A flag down. Pavia got hit again. And so they might get another shot at it. Hobbs was in the backfield for Tennessee.
Roughing the passer, defense number 53, contact to the quarterback. The penalty's half the distance to goal. Repeat the try.
Pavia might set the record for personal fouls drawn. The 3rd or 4th time. We had a horse collar. We've had 3 roughing the passers. We've had a face mask penalty against him.
And he continues to get up and answer the bell. David Hobbs gets called for the roughing the passer call. They're late. The road crowd doesn't like it.
Well, that road crowd, will they storm the field if they win and make the college football playoff? No running room, so Alexander bounces off of one man and did well to get close, but Boo Carter with that makeup speed cut him down. And it remains a 13-point game, so Vanderbilt will need 2 touchdowns in 6 minutes.
All right, let's go back to this touchdown. James Pierce, this is the inside move I was talking about. Watch how quick this pressure is. And it's Diego Pavia eluding him. He's going to come inside, going to fake him out, step up, and drop a dime down the field for a touchdown, Vanderbilt.
ABC College Football is presented by Tums Gummy Bites. Get fast relief of occasional heartburn. Use as directed. And in part by Taco Bell. Download the Taco Bell app and vote for the Live Más Student Section of the Year.
A lot of members there of our hard-working ABC crew enjoying Thanksgiving with friends and family, whether at home or on the road. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. And Vanderbilt electing to pooch it downfield rather than an onside kick. Scooped up by Sampson and tackled at the 20. 5:54 to go. Tennessee ball when we come back. The Iron Bowl and Jalen Milroe up next.
Michigan takes down Ohio State. Dave, back to you.
Unreal. Given how Michigan had played this year, Sampson picks up a couple yards. Ohio State now 2 losses. You still think they're in, but they drop, and so maybe this helps. Alabama, Ole Miss, or South Carolina, which beat Clemson, by the way.
Yes, South Carolina's gone final at Clemson, 17-14 win. I am in shock that happened in the shoe today, Ohio State losing to Michigan. I got to be honest, I did not think that was going to be possible. Everything with what's happened the last 3 years. You heard Dan say it, the most expensive roster in college football. They were a 3-touchdown favorite in that game today, Dave. Wow.
Javonte Sprague shaking up right guard. Where does Ohio State drop? 9, 10, somewhere in that range, you think?
I think Ohio State, with the win at Penn State, is still going to be in the college football playoff. But now Indiana goes to the Big Ten championship. They're going to play Oregon. And Ohio State has now lost home field advantage. They're going to have to go on the road and play somewhere. And if you're Tennessee, again, you got to finish this game. 5:41 left. You're up 13. Game still left to be played. But if you get out of here with a win, with that loss, that's going to move you up the pecking order, potentially to host a playoff game.
And you mentioned Indiana. Indiana, if it were to win the Big Ten championship, gets the automatic bid. But if they get blown out by Oregon, that may impact whether they get in at all. Wow. Sampson taken down at the 23, and so 3rd down coming up.
Good on Vanderbilt here, continuing to fight. Down 19, they go down and get a quick score. Defense with a couple of nice stops on 1st and 2nd down. Can they answer the bell here on 3rd down? Tennessee has owned 3rd down in this game, 9 of 13. A little pressure on Tennessee if the doors can come over the stop.
And if Tennessee were to get the 1st down, being able to milk the clock would make it really hard for Vanderbilt to get 2 possessions. It feels like it has to happen here for the Commodores to have a shot, just looking at that clock. And Josh Heupel will take a timeout with a play clock at 1. That will leave him with 1. Vanderbilt still has all 3 and the official 2-minute timeout. Well, we started the day with this, and I think it's important to throw it out there again. There were people that said when the college football playoff expanded to 12 teams, oh, this is going to hurt the regular season. It's going to take away from these games.
We weren't those people.
I mean, last night with Georgia going to 8 overtimes and then Michigan upsetting Ohio State, which would be big any year, but especially this year.
Yeah.
And there's so many more games left. Who knows what we're going to be saying about how the field looks tomorrow morning.
It's going to be, there's so much football left to be played. We're just getting this wild day started here today, so much more in store and so much can change. You look at last weekend and everything that happened, how wild some of those upsets were, what we've already seen so far. College football is delivering at an unbelievable clip, and it really just builds and adds so much drama, so much intrigue to the end of the season. Conference races, college football playoff spots, it's really got a little bit of everything going right now.
And what if Texas A&M wins tonight and then wins the SEC championship and gets the automatic bid? That's going to knock somebody out that would have gotten an at-large normally. They're going to keep it on the ground and easily get the 1st down with Dylan Sampson. That will allow Tennessee to take more time off the clock. Flags come flying in, and that vicious hit afterwards. C.J. Taylor got thrown down by a Tennessee offensive lineman, and John Campbell Jr. has to be separated from a couple of teammates. He's pushing and shoving his own guys right now.
Is a 1st down for Tennessee. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 74. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced. It will be 1st and 10 after enforcement.
They still get the 1st down, but John Campbell Jr. is hot. He's yelling even at Josh Heupel as he goes off. Just not sure what got him upset or why that was necessary at this point of the game.
But John Campbell is a 7th-year senior. Just got to be smarter than this. He's going to come in your screen.
Just don't understand what he's doing there.
Not smart. It's not smart whatsoever. Let's go back and look at this play. This is such a key block. You're going to get by Courage, and then you're going to see Kitzelman get up and get to that second level. Counter, staple play of this offense. Third, and a chance to seal the game. And it's Dylan Sampson hitting it downhill. Good blocking. A nice job finishing the run, and just a boneheaded mistake by John Campbell.
And then you had some of his teammates trying to settle him down and tell him that was unwarranted. He didn't want to hear it. Nico just keeping it here. He got to be careful. He took a big hit at the 38-yard line from Fontenette. It's another first down, though, for Tennessee.
I like Nico pulling it and being a runner. He is a dangerous runner. When you got a lead like this, get out.
Yeah.
Get out. Save your body. Save those hits. Again, to me, that's a little bit of untapped territory. I don't think that they have utilized him as much of a runner as what he's capable. Now, he's got that slender frame, and you want to keep him healthy, but you do wonder, moving forward in the postseason, how much more of a factor could that potentially be for this offense?
Tennessee going to take as much time off the play clock before snapping it. Sampson up the middle, another broken tackle, and into Vanderbilt territory as Dylan Sampson, well over 150 rushing yards now on the day, and closing in on almost 1,500 for the year.
Watch him run behind his pads here, Dave. I mean, he's just so tough to tackle. He can get low, the burst through the hole, running through arm tackles. Second time we've had a chance to see Dylan Sampson live, and man, he has not disappointed in a record-setting afternoon here today as the most yards in the history of Tennessee football in a regular season. Wow.
And just think of all the great backs they've had over the years on Rocky Top. Already got the school record for rushing touchdowns. Ball on the ground. Nico picks it up and then gets swarmed. That was almost a disaster with 2:40 to go, but they recovered and can take time off the clock. Although Vanderbilt's going to call a timeout. You think of, too, as we're talking playoff here in Tennessee, likely in with a win, and maybe a home game now with Ohio State losing. You still got Notre Dame in USC. Miami at Syracuse up next on ESPN. We already touched on A&M tonight. Bama, Auburn's playing better, and now you got the Iron Bowl up next on ABC.
That's why it's a fool's errand to try to start acting like we know what's going to happen. If this college football has taught us anything, expect the unexpected, and anything can happen. So sit back, get those. By now, what is it like? Day 3 on the leftovers. Still got that Thanksgiving Day turkey sitting there, making some sandwiches on this Saturday afternoon. Settle in. It's going to be a lot of fun for college football. Brian Williams and the Iron Bowl coming up here in just a bit.
Bama trying to finish 9-3 and keep playoff hopes alive. South Carolina won today, 6 straight wins for the Gamecocks. How much, if those teams are in the mix, does the committee look at head-to-head, or how you're playing down the stretch, how they weigh those two tools they use?
A committee's 12th ranked team in Clemson. I mean, by the way, that you would say it knocks out Clemson,
but it doesn't.
But if Miami loses at Syracuse, Clemson's in the ACC championship.
And again, if you win, you get the automatic bid. So right. Clemson would not, at this point, be in with an at-large, but they can knock somebody else out by getting the automatic bid if Miami loses first. Sampson again, inside the 40. And close to another first down, but got another injury. And that's Squirrel White. Oh, man. I mean, they've lost Thornton today. McCoy didn't play today. Now you got Squirrel White down. Sampson is hurt, too. Again, you got 3 weeks before your next games. You do have time to get healthy, but I mean, it's too close for comfort at this point. You understand why Josh Heupel's keeping these guys on the field. It's only a 12 or 13-point game, 2-possession game with 2 minutes left. So he's keeping those guys out there, but guys keep going down. We saw Nico take a hard hit on the last possession.
Squirrel White here on the left side of your screen. Take a look, and he had finally gotten healthy. Well, he stepped on Dylan Sampson's foot, and then C.J. Taylor comes in late with a hit on him.
And Dusty, at the top of the screen, I don't know if you saw, but Cooper Mays was shaken up too. So 3 guys on that one play that banged up.
I think Josh Heupel upset with that shot C.J. Taylor gave his receiver, Squirrel White.
And remember, Taylor was the recipient of that hit by John Campbell, the late hit, a moment ago.
Dylan Sampson is getting helped off the field with a massive day he put forth here. 178 yards on the ground, over 7 yards a carry. Just continues to add to the confusion as to how he was not a Doak Walker finalist, as we talked about earlier in the show, as one of the nation's best running backs. Clearly was that all throughout the season and proved it once again here this afternoon.
Going into the medical tent, Cooper Mays is staying in the game, so he's okay. Taylor reported earlier that Dylan Sampson was shaken up at one point, and that's why he wasn't on the field, and Deshaun Bishop was out there. Now hurt again.
Expect them to take this down to the 2-minute timeout. Clock's almost exactly synced up, play clock and game clock, to get down to 2 minutes.
2 minutes away from a spot in the college football playoff. And the first year without Jim Harbaugh. Technically, the first year without Jim Harbaugh as a head coach. Of course, didn't coach in the game last year, as they get the first down there with Bishop. And now, see if Vanderbilt uses timeouts or just lets the clock run, knowing that this is over. It's been a great year for Vanderbilt. It ends on a sour note, losing to its rival. But you think about Tennessee and what Josh Heupel has done in a short time, not only turning this program around just to be above water. You think how bad they were before he took over, but I mean, you can go win a national championship now.
Right. It's a remarkable turnaround and such a great job by Josh Heupel, his staff, these players. A lot of players that stuck around have been here through this entire turnaround of the program. This fan base that has been re-energized, and they are just full of life. And when we talked with Josh Heupel, asked him, I know he didn't want to go there, but what would a playoff spot mean? And he just said it's really just the next step as a program. And he talked about the climb and thinking about where they were when he took this thing over and the battle they've been in with the NCAA to where they are now. And we got to wait for the final rankings, but Tennessee's going to get into the college football playoff. And when you think about the 30 wins over the last 3 seasons and where Tennessee football is right now, cannot say enough good things about the job Josh Heupel and his staff has done.
And now the object will to go win 4 more, because that's what it will take. They will be an at-large. They'll have a first-round game in 3 weeks. A good chance of it being at home, with Ohio State losing, assuming it drops behind Tennessee. And when you're in, you got a shot, and they'll be 1 of 12 in. According to the All-State playoff predictor, 97% chance to reach the 12-team playoff after another 10-win season. We've got the Iron Bowl coming up next. For Dusty Dvorak, Taylor McGregor, Dave Patch saying so long from Nashville, Tennessee, off to the college football playoff. Now back to the studio.